How many of you remember Sophie B. Hawkins? Like, who's that? Who are my peeps out there? Who remembers Sophie B. Hawkins, huh? Hi, Peach and Prim and Sloan. What's up? Come on, tell me somebody knows Sophie B. Hawkins. You know, damn, I wish I was your lover. Come on. Alright, so happy Saturday. Yeah, she did. Heidi ho! Heidi ho! Hi, Bill. That's the... Oh, Dataless remembers Sophie. I absolutely loved Sophie B. Hawkins back in the day. I think I had a couple of cassette tapes. That's right. I'm not even sure I ever owned her on CD or not. I think I do have a CD, actually. I might have a CD. But yeah, you saw her in concert? I'm a little jelly. I'm a little jealous. I bet she put on a good concert. But Tiger, yeah, you touched on one of the few impressions I can do. Hello, smells like flowers. So hi Shelly, and hi Bill. How's it going? You know, Bill, I've been meaning to talk to you too. My fish is not doing any better. I started another round of treatment with the new stuff, the Melafix. He's not doing so good. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep plugging away at it though. I'm gonna keep trying. Duncan Chic. Oh my gosh, taking me back. Duncan Chic. Whoo! That's taking me back into the deep 90s. Hi Smurf, what's up? Dire Thing. So as you may or may not know, my birthday was Wednesday. Yes, it was. I am 45 years old, and I am okay with that, actually. I think I'm pretty proud of where I've come in life, so I am pretty proud of being 45 years old. Have no desire whatsoever to lie about my age. He was, and he's not doing so good. He's not eating much at all, if anything, and he's kind of laying on the floor a lot, and that spot it doesn't look fuzzy anymore, but now it looks kind of swollen, and it feels, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's getting bigger, and I think it's getting bigger. I don't know. I'm gonna try another, like I said, I'm gonna try another round of this Melafix stuff. You know, do another water change, see what I can, maybe just 25% water. You know, just do a little bit of water change, maybe, actually. Maybe not all the water. I don't want to traumatize him. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much, Smurf. I appreciate that. I felt very, very loved that day. I had lots of comments on my Facebook page from all of you guys. I had like over 150 birthday wishes on my Facebook page. It was awesome. I had groups that specifically called me out to say happy birthdays. I had comments there. It was awesome. It was really great. I felt pretty loved all day long. Some of you UK people were actually the first to wish me happy birthday, because it was, you know, the 12th, 5 hours before it was the 12th here, so which is kind of cool. You're relaxing with booze. I want to tell you guys about my birthday though, actually, because it was a it's today's Shelly's birthday. I'm gonna have to sing to you. You know, let's go get it out of the way right now. Okay, we'll stop it. I don't know if I'm really up for singing right now. Let me take a drink of water. You got your Higgy coffee? Awesome. That was fast. All right. Ha ha ha. I'm 45, Saint. I'm 45. Don't be rushing it. All right, so here we go. Today's Shelly's birthday. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shelly. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Okay. Fellow Virgos, unite. I'm all about it. All right. So, You order yours Monday. You have a cut. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So we decided to. I came to work, right? And my mom proceeds to bring me a big box, and she also. I know I mentioned to you guys that we've been doing like the diamond painting thing, and I got a wild stick up my butt, and bought this huge diamond painting that's like of Jesus, and he's got like a shepherd's crook, and he's sort of like watching over his flock in the background. And I was gonna give it to my parents-in-law for Christmas. I'm a little nervous I'm not gonna get it done before Christmas, so I've enlisted my mom's help to so she'll work on it when I'm not able to. It's gonna be a challenge though, because it's really big. So to get it done in time is gonna be a big old challenge. And I haven't actually officially started on it yet. I got it all set up and ready to go, but I haven't officially started on it yet. But because we've been doing all these diamond paintings, 3.5 days first class, yet my priority packages took 8 to 10 days. That does make absolutely 0 sense, Bill. And I sent that stuff, that the last shipment I sent to you too, I purposely sent it priority so you'd get it faster, okay? But the last one was coffee too, Peach, so that doesn't work. I didn't have to send the last one priority. It actually was under 4 pounds, and I could have shipped it in a box or something and not sent it priority. So I shipped it on priority on purpose, thinking it would make it to you faster. So now you know what? I hear you. Lesson learned, man. Lesson learned. All right. So, hi, bits and pieces. And so then, anyway, so my mom, because my mom and I have been doing these diamond paintings, and I'm one of those go big or go home people. You know, mom's been kind of going crazy buying lots of like little ones, and so she's kind of knocking them out really fast, right? You know, she's knocking them out in a couple of days. But I'm like, you know, I'm a go big or go home kind of person, and the bigger they are, the more beautiful they are, of course, because they're less pixelated. So she actually bought me a big one. It's a big phoenix, like a giant phoenix with its arms spread and the tail feathers, and it's just really beautiful. Probably won't even touch that one until next year, but that's cool. So I had that, and then she handed me this big box. And I opened it up, and I have it in here to show you guys. All right, guys. You know what this is? This looks like a toy, but it's not. I mean, it kind of is, because it's a lot of fun to use. It's not a toy. This is called the Bug Assault. Yeah, see, anybody who knows me knows that I have a bit of a problem with bugs. All right, even dead ones, I don't like them. All right, and so I'm a little fanatical about making sure stuff stays clean, so that bugs don't. New smock mod, right? Yeah. So the bugs don't get in. I have never actually in my life ever had to deal with a real infestation of anything, and I'm very fortunate in that, because I mean, infestations don't, you know, they can happen to anybody. So I'm extremely fortunate that I've never had to deal with a real one. You know, I mean, I've had an ant problem here and there, but you know, yeah, you can get rid of those pretty quickly. I've never had a kind of infestation that was persistent. You know, I mean, I have dogs, you know, so occasionally you get some fleas, but you know, I've managed to nip those in the bud too. All right. Now this thing is called the Bug Assault. Bug-A-Salt. This puppy, you fill this container right here with regular old table salt. All right, and you can shoot those motherfuckers from 3 feet away. It'll kill them. Okay, I saw a little spider on the wall yesterday. and I apparently got a little too close, right? I got kind of right up on that spider, about 4 or 5 inches away. Nailed this puppy. It chipped the paint. Okay, yeah. You crank this buddy up. We'll take the safety off and just. We went outside last night. We were having fun. You know, Bits. You've been using your electric fly swatter. We have an electric fly swatter, but like it's so big and heavy, like you feel like anything you go to hit with it, you're either going to destroy what you hit or you're going to destroy the electric fly swatter because it's kind of big and heavy and it seems it's not really that fragile, but you just feel like it's not designed to swat things. You know, you kind of have to be careful with it. You have to sort of like catch the bug in the fly swatter and zap it. You know, you can't really hit it, you know, and it's very difficult. Very difficult. But yeah. If you guys interested in one of these, alright. This thing shoots out a helping of salt at some crazy air pressure thing going on, right? Seriously. Kill those mothers. Kill it with salt. No poison. Right? You don't really spraying poison all over the place. Kill them with salt. Poof. Get those bitches midair. It's hard to do though, Bits. Uh-oh, what happened? My chat went away. Oh, there we go. Do not use that on David. I find a badminton racket is perfect fly swatter and improves your swing at the same time. Nick salt. No, not Nick salt. Table salt, Saint. Regular old table salt. I've done it midair. All right, it's not that easy to get the little some bitches. All right, and when you're talking like little fruit flies and stuff, they're too small. You know, you can't quite. It's hard to get those fuckers. And with me, you know, I will tell you. All right, guys. Now, and just saying up front, and it's probably feels like more to me just because I'm so terrified of them. But my problem is the palmetto bugs. Okay, now for you guys who don't live in the southeast, okay. If you don't live in the southeast, you may not know what a palmetto bug is, alright? A palmetto bug looks like a giant fucking cockroach, alright? They're not roaches. Alright, they're not. I do not have a roach problem. I would be balled up in the corner crying with my hands wrapped around my knees and shivering if I had a roach problem. I would not be able to handle it whatsoever. I've never had a roach problem. I will never have a roach problem. I will burn a place to the ground before I deal with roaches, okay? But these palmetto bugs are huge, okay? Tell the truth. How many times has David already been shot? He has not been shot with it yet. I promise you it has not been shot. They are giant. They are giant. They look like giant roaches, but they're not roaches. They're not the kind of bug that gets into your walls and like breeds and infests the place, okay? They live outside. You know, they tend to come inside when it's wet or, you know, when it rains or you know, when it gets maybe starts to get a little cold outside or whatever. Or maybe if it's too hot outside, they come in when it's cooler. They're not an infesting kind of bug, all right? But they do come inside, and they are fucking huge, and they're so ugly and scary. Okay, and when I say that I get a lot of them here, I know what's happening. Okay, I know that they're getting up into the attic and they're coming down through the ceiling tiles. Okay, not enough to be an infestation or anything. Like I said, I promise you, I do not have an infestation because I would be like in a mental institution if I had to deal with an infestation. But they happen. And I can't even handle it. Like you can ask Kimber. I used to make her kill them. I'd find them dead, and I used to make her take the corpse out. Like I can't even touch them. So I'm waiting patiently. Sounds like my neighbors. Are any of them kissing bugs? I don't know what a kissing bug is. Yeah, I mean seriously, these things are. Okay, look. They're like this big, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this, guys. They are huge. All right. Now, I don't know that this mother is going to be enough to handle a palmetto bug, but I am waiting patiently for one of them to show up and try it out. Because that's the thing. When I see one of them, I've got bug spray over here, right? You know, and that kind that's supposed to kill on contact, right? And if it doesn't kill on contact, as long as you get them, they'll die within like a few minutes, right? They don't. It's pretty powerful stuff. I don't like spraying that shit all over the place, you know. Fortunately, amazingly, I'm not even sure how this happens. I never find them in the lab. They come in my office. I've seen them in storage. I've seen them usually dead. I hardly ever see them alive. But I mean, like, oh, I can't stand them. But I am waiting. I am ready. And I tell you what, too. I went outside when Mom gave me this. We loaded it up, and I was ready to go. I went outside. I walked all the way around this building looking for a damn bug to kill. They knew I was armed, people. I could not even find a fucking ant crawling on the sidewalk to kill. They knew I was armed. We went out last night. It was after dark when we left, and there was a light right outside our spotlight, or a security light right outside our door here, and so there was a bunch of bugs flying around the light, you know, and so we were kind of taking aim at them and having some fun with it. But yeah, I'm telling you, they know. They do. They love my office. I don't know why it is that mostly when they can smell the fear, dude. I'm telling you, that's what it is. They can smell the fear. Because I never find them, well, not never, but I never find them in the lab. But I hardly ever find them anywhere else, except in my damn office. Before I knew what they were, I opened the silverware drawer. A dead one about 3 inches, screamed like I was being raped. They are scary as hell. I would come in, and if I do find one alive, I sit there and I spray it until it's dead. You know, I'll follow it around with the can of shit, you know, and spraying it. And of course, I'm fuming up the place with all kinds of toxic chemicals when I do that. And then I'll leave it on the floor. I'll put a paper towel over it, and I'll look, you know, next day I'm like, David, you need to take care of the corpse. I'd find them dead. I'd tell Peach, Kimber, like, you need to come in here and get rid of this corpse. I can't touch them. I can't. Oh my God. Oh, they drive me insanely crazy. So, anyway, yeah. So this was my birthday present from my mom. This thing is awesome. I can't wait to try it out on something real. You know, I haven't been able to really use it on anything real yet. So, I mean, I think it was designed for houseflies, which those drive me crazy too when they get in here. You know, I mean, you can't help it. I mean, a fly's going to get in here every once in a while. Oh man, no, it sucks. So yeah, I'm gonna have me some fun. Yeah. If you guys want to see some hilarious videos, you should just look up bug assault on YouTube at some point, and you will find the guy who invented it. He's hilarious, right? And he designed a little laser sight for it too. You can install the laser sight like up under here somewhere. Excuse me. There's you can install this laser sight up under here, and so it's hilarious. Hilarious. All right. You have a big fly to practice on the David. Google search says palmetto bugs are American cockroaches. Well, Tiger, we have cockroaches here. I know what a roach is. And a palmetto bug is not. It looks like a roach, but it's not a roach. Like I said, roaches like to breed. You know, they come into a house. They get into the walls. They get into the ceilings, whatever. They breed, right? And they infest a house. All right, they get into everything. Palmetto bugs don't do that. They don't come inside. I mean, they come inside, but they don't come inside to breed. They live outside. They're outside bugs. One of them manages to wander in here once in a while. I'm telling you though. You are surprised you don't find bugs in the lab that you use to formulate mixtures of nicotine, a chemical plant evolved to produce defend against bugs. You got a point there, Dire Thing. However, while that is a very valid point that I do have nicotine in the lab, the fact of the matter is the amount of nicotine in the lab and as closed off and sealed up as it is minuscule compared to the amount of candy flavors I have in there, okay? Compared to the amount of flavored sugar there is in the lab, it's insanely small, the amount of nicotine that's in there. So it does surprise me, actually. That's the one place I've actually, been extremely paranoid about getting any bugs, because the whole room is loaded with literally hundreds of gallons of sweet candy flavoring. And, and what are bugs attracted to? They're attracted to that kind of sweet stuff. So you have a valid point, but I think the flavoring outweighs the amount of nicotine that goes on in that room. I mean, the pure stuff we have locked away in the freezer, so it's not even out, and then the amount of nicotine we have out is small. Yeah, so. Sweetener is not sugar. You are correct. The sweetener, as far as I know, and as much research as I've done, there actually is no sugar in there. That's all sucralose or ethyl maltol based. Even the flavors that are inherently sweeter, and the VG for that matter. But I would imagine bugs wouldn't mind the VG either. Is that why my bugs come in by my DUI? See, Shelly knows. That's what I'm saying. That's the one place that, of course, I'm more paranoid than anywhere else about getting bugs. And I'm like, knock on wood, I rarely ever see a bug in the lab. Peach will vouch for that too, because I ain't having it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Okay. We're traveling with Bill now. Alright. So, farmers do use nic on dust crops. I don't know what concentration of nic that they use on dust crops. But like I said, the amount of nicotine in that room is minuscule compared to the amount of flavors in that room. And the amount of VG in that room. So. I ain't doing it. I miss working with you too. I miss her so much. Every time Heather Land comes out with a new video, she's that I ain't doing it girl. She squishes. She uses that troll filter where it makes her eyes huge and it squishes up her nose and makes her mouth really big. And she talks about stuff that pisses her off and what she would rather be doing. And then she always ends it with I ain't doing it. And every time I see that she comes out with a new video, I get sad. Because I miss Peach. I miss Peach working here. All right, so then after I had my lovely day here, we actually closed up a little early to go to. I wish you would tell the crop duster that flies. Oh shit, my chat just disappeared. That flies over my house every year, dropping pellets everywhere. That's not cool. Betsy, you just need to leave Indiana. Come south, man. Just come south. It's warmer. It's sunnier. It's more lush. Come south. Come join us. Come below the Mason-Dixon line, sweetheart. Actually, I think Indiana was below the Mason-Dixon line, but that's the point. Anyway. So we closed up a little bit early, and we went to one of my favorite restaurants, which is called Provino's. My mom had been saying that she'd been craving Italian for a few days anyway, so I was like, cool, to kill two birds with one stone, right? You can't hubby makes too much. Well, that's a good reason. How are you and David doing there with the storm coming? Actually, Dawn, we haven't seen a drop yet. There were some ominous clouds. I'm kind of looking at. There were some ominous clouds overhead when I got here today, but I haven't seen a drop yet. Nothing. So we left here and we went to too hot, can't do the heat. I hear you. I do. But damn those winters. I ain't doing that again either. So we went to Provino's, and I had the most amazing time at Provino's actually. Many years ago, about 27 years ago, 27 years ago. I worked at a Provino's. Now it wasn't called Provino's. It was sort of a branch of Provino's called Philomea's. It was called Philomea's upstairs actually because it was in this shopping center that had 2 levels, and the restaurant was on the 2nd level, so it was upstairs, right? Yeah. So Philomea's upstairs, and I mean I worked there for like a year, right? And I never got sick of the food. And I think that tells you something. When you work at a food place, a lot of people will tell you that they get completely sick of the food, or it turns them off because they're in the kitchen and they see how it's made, or whatever the case is, and they'll never eat there again. I never got sick of the food. I'm fortunate that I had an 18-year-old metabolism, I think, when I worked there, because I don't know how I didn't gain 100 pounds when I worked there. Because in the course of a year, I easily had 200 bowls of fettuccine. And fettuccine is nothing but pasta and cream and butter and just, milk, whatever, cheese, and they have these amazing rolls, the fresh baked rolls, but then they have this vat of it's probably straight up diacetyl, to be honest with you, this melted butter with just garlic chunks, like giant chunks of grated garlic, right? And they have a little ladle, right? And they ladle this butter and garlic all over the rolls, and they bring it to your table, right? It's so fucking good, guys. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm probably still smell like garlic, right? So, anyway, and yeah, I can't begin to tell you how many bowls of rolls I had either in the year that I worked there. But I absolutely love the food, and I hadn't been there in a while, probably about 2 years. So we went. We took Prim. I'm telling you, it would be worth a trip from Missouri for you to come to Atlanta, for me to take you to Provino's. So it's it's good stuff. So, and when you go to Provino's on your birthday, the cool thing about it is your dinner is free, right? Everybody else has to pay for theirs, but your dinner is free. Now, I thought the policy was that your dinner was free up to a certain amount, but apparently your whole dinner is free. Or I thought that you could get like a chicken dinner or a pasta dinner for free, but then you had to pay for anything up and above that. No, apparently the whole thing is free, no matter what you get. So we're there, right, and we're looking at and I got the same thing I always get. It's called and you guys can hate on me if you want, all right, and I can take it. It's cool if you have a problem with this. I love veal. I think veal is delicious, and I am aware that it is absolutely hideous the way that we get veal. I'm aware. It hasn't stopped me from eating it yet. So I get veal. It's called a veal Diana. It's basically a veal Parmesan. But before it's baked, they put a layer of ricotta and a layer of fried eggplant on top of the veal cutlets, and then they layer that with sauce and cheese, and they bake that, and it's absolutely fucking divine. So they order it, and they bring out this amazing salad. They bring out these amazing rolls to eat first, and then your dinner comes out. Now, I had ordered a bottle. I looked at their wine list because Mom's like, let's get some wine. So she got a Moscato. She was good, but I saw that they had a Valpolicella, and a veal is beef, so it goes with a red wine, right? And I love that. It's not everybody carries a Valpolicella. It's kind of hard to find Valpolicellas. Yes, it is a veal eggplant Parmesan, actually. There's no pasta involved, just a veal eggplant baked with mozzarella and marinara sauce. There's nothing horrible about the way we get any. Yeah, there's all kinds of horrible ways that we get all of our food, but I know that veal is exceptionally hideous, and I just it hasn't stopped me from eating it. I don't eat a lot of it, you know, I eat once a year or so. But anyway, so we I saw they had a Valpolicella on the menu. I don't get people who are against veal yet eat chicken. You know, chickens are between 6 and 10 weeks. You know, Bill, I've made the same argument, actually. Not so much like the chicken, like when you get like chicken, you know, like you guys probably don't have KFC over there, but when you go to a chicken place and get chicken. But when, you know, everybody is crazy about wings, right? The buffalo wings, right? You get spicy buffalo wings, or, you know, a lot of places are doing other things other than spicy. You get lemon pepper, garlic parmesan, or barbecue wings, right? Those are baby chickens. People are killing off the baby chickens, but nobody's screaming about chickens' rights, right? So I've had that same discussion with more than one person. Apparently, though, it's even more like it's more horrible with veal. They starve the baby calves and make the meat more tender. It's horrible. Anyway, so I ordered this bottle of Valpolicella, and it was so good. And even Zachary and Lexi liked it. They were they're not really wine drinkers either, and you know, especially not red wine. And so then later on the meal, I started talking to the waitress, and I told her I used to work at Fravino's, and when I told her Philomea's, she's like, I used to work at Philomea's, and she started naming off like the manager there and everything, and I'm like, holy crap! It turns out she worked there just before I did as a hostess and cashier. I'm like, I replaced you when you left. Like I believe that's how close our paths were. We crossed. So our waitress actually worked at the same place I did. She was super cool and super sweet. Halfway through the meal, she brings out a second bottle of Valpolicella on the house, right? And then she ended up. They brought out a little bowl of ice cream for me with a little candle in it and a bunch of cookies. Everybody took a sample, and then Kentucky Fried Pigeon. You're right, Tiger. So to make a long story even longer, I don't even know how we got away with this, but somehow, I mean, I know my dinner was free, right? And apparently that second bottle of wine was free. My dessert was free. She brought the bill out before Zachary ordered his dessert. He got this like cafe, like a coffee thing, that she didn't even tack onto the bill. 5 of us, okay, 2 appetizers, 5 dinners, 2 bottles of wine, and 2 desserts. We walked out of there for $107. I can't even figure out how that happened, right? I'm like, even with my dinner being free and that free bottle of wine, I'm still not sure how that happened, okay? That was insane. I was like, yeah, she's getting a huge tip. She did. She got a big old tip. So yeah, $107. So I ate every last bite of my dinner, and I ate the dessert, and I had the wine, and I brought the second bottle of wine home. We opened it, but we didn't drink much out of it. I think I'll be enjoying that tonight and tomorrow, actually. I mean, like, it was awesome. I felt like, I mean, seriously, I just felt like there was garlic wafting through my pores for the next day. Like, it was awesome. So, and the reason why we had to leave early and go to dinner early was because David had a quartet rehearsal. He's in 2 quartets right now. One of them is a gospel quartet, and the other one is a barbershop quartet. And he just recently joined the barbershop quartet because they lost their bass. And 2 of the guys in the quartet he's worked with before, so he's very familiar with these guys. So you guys are talking sports. Anyway, because he's like, he's like, look, I would cancel rehearsal tonight, but we're going to a competition here next month. I can't miss rehearsal. I've got to go. He's like, I know it's your birthday, but I've got to go. So can we go to dinner early and I can still make rehearsal? And I was like, okay, that's cool. So we closed up early. We went to dinner and we got back home, early. And he went to rehearsal. Well, then so me and Mom are watching TV. Just I'm in a food coma at this point. I was so stuffed. It was so fucking good. Oh, Atlanta won 3-0 away to Colorado Rapids. Way to go, Atlanta. I'm not even sure what sport you're talking about, but cool. That's my hometown. So, I don't know what time it was. 10:30, something like that. I hear the door open, and it's David coming home from rehearsal, right? And I hear the door open, and then but I didn't hear it close again. And I'm like, David? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why haven't you closed the door yet? Close the door. I said, you letting the bugs in? Again, bugs, right? I left my bug assault at Higgy Sig's. I didn't have it at the house, right? Don't be letting bugs in my house because I can't handle it. Moths will attack me. Seriously. If I'm in a room with a moth, right? I can be like, okay, look, Mr. Moth, you stay on your side of the room. I'll stay on my side of the room. I won't mess with you. You don't mess with me. And I'll leave you alone. No, no, no. They gotta fly right up into my face every fucking time. Okay, I've been chased by a butterfly before. Again, I'm aware that butterflies can't hurt you. They will chase me. All right, I don't want them crawling on me. I don't like their tiny little legs and their creepy crawling. I don't like them, and they will fucking chase me. All right. Oh, this Peruvian is so much better than the Honduran. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that David knows that. Actually, okay. I got my sticky note right here. Bill says Peru way better than Honduran. Okay, got it. All right. So, why am I? Oh, okay. Do not order Higgy's coffee unless you like being spoiled. We're gonna have to talk about the coffee. All right. So, but yeah, no, moths are in. They do. They fly at me. They always fly up into my face, right? And I hate them. I'm telling you, me and bugs. You want to freak me the fuck out? Try to throw a bug on me, okay? Yeah, I will cut you out of my life faster than seriously. This is the best way to get on my shit list forever. Okay, do not come at me with a bug. All right, I don't do bugs. So, anyway, so here I am. I'm yelling at David to shut the damn door because he's letting the bugs in, right? And next thing I know, him and his whole quartet come waltzing into the living room. All right. I got a fail-safe for moths. A lighter and deodorant. They fry. I like the spray deodorant. Hairspray would work too. Yep. Apple wine is ready to be racked. Sweet grape still bubbling. Pear is still bubbling, and so is the cherry. Cherry wine. Oh God, that sounds good. Holy crap. Yes, Prim, I did send that out yesterday. It's on its way to you, so I hope it does get there on Monday. I won't like my house with the scorpions. No. The scorpions and tarantulas are caged. Okay, they're fine. They're caged. Don't take them out and try to put them on me, though. All right, I'm not having that. I'm not. Why is my nose so itchy? Yeah, no, I can handle looking at them through glass. Not a problem. Not a problem, all right? They get on me I do not put a tarantula on me. Okay, do not put a scorpion on me. Okay, I'm not doing it. Any idea if David looked at that site? I do not have any idea if David. I sent it to him. I do not have any idea if he looked at it though. So, a pint glass and a piece of paper work the best with moths, spiders, and crane flies. Yeah. See, you guys didn't know that I had this deathly fear of bugs. And I do, and it's irrational as hell, okay? And don't even put me anywhere near a bee. Okay, seriously. Bugs that can actually hurt you? I'm terrified. I'm like I will literally get frozen in fear. Like I physically cannot move if you put me around a bee. Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. Do not put me anywhere near a bee. Okay, we have several wasps that tend to fly around outside here. There's lots of bushes and trees and stuff, and there's a few wasps that are always flying around outside. Yeah, no. I'm thinking about doing a coffee wine. Ooh, coffee wine. The scorpions here are the glow under the black light yellow ones. Killer pool. Well, yeah, Tiger, you're way out west. Those are the, crazy ones. Yeah. How long is the shelf life? That's not a dumb question at all, actually, Prim. Well, not the wasps, though, Sloan. Wasps are just assholes. They'll sting you and go on and sting someone. They abuse their power. All right, so here's the thing. Here's the answer to that question. Number one, it depends on how you store it. It depends on how you store it and what it's stored in, okay? If you're talking plastic bottles, if they are kept out of sunlight and at room temperature, a year, 2 years, over a year, 18 months, probably getting low. Here's the thing, though. There's nothing in it that's going to hurt you, all right? Basically, any e-liquid is going to be a lot like a tea, okay? The longer it sits, the more it steeps, all right? There comes a point where it's not going to hurt you. It doesn't go bad, okay? Try it. Vape on it, okay? It won't make you sick. It's not going to hurt you. But if it doesn't taste good, you're going to have to, what's happened now is the flavor has steeped too much, and the flavor's gone bitter, The nicotine flavor, the nicotine level can actually intensify depending on if it's been exposed to direct sunlight or too much heat. The nicotine levels can dissipate. But if it is kept out of direct sunlight and it is kept in a nice, cool, dry place, the nicotine levels can actually increase over time. It's one of those things. Like, there's nothing that's going to hurt you, but try it and see if how it tastes. If it tastes like shit, throw it away. If it still tastes good, vape it. That's kind of the rule of thumb. But you're looking at a year in plastic and 3 years in glass. PET plastic versus LDPE glass plastic, which, as you guys know, my bottles are the LDPE plastic. These do actually breathe. I mean, we shrink wrap them to cut down on the amount of breathing the bottle can do. But the LDPE plastic is breathable, so it's going to actually steep a lot faster in one of these bottles than it's going to steep in a PET bottle, which is even more so in a glass bottle. Okay, glass, nothing gets through glass; it's all good. But the PET bottles do not breathe. I don't think they breathe at all, actually. That's the harder plastic. The LDPE bottles, which are the squishy plastic, they do breathe somewhat. So you're going to have, that's also a factor. So like I said, I'd go a year in LDPE bottles, 2 years in PET, and 3 years in glass. If it's kept in a cool, dry place out of direct sunlight. Does that answer your question completely, or... I like the LDPE. That's my favorite. I don't keep any juice around long enough for it to be a problem, so... I hate the PET ones. You know, the PET stuff, it cracks, it crinkles. It is hard to squeeze, especially on smaller bottles, and it's just not my thing. Now, some of these Gorilla bottles are actually a softer PET, so it's a little bit better, but still, I prefer the LDPE bottles. Mason jar. There we go. Well, let's see here. Mason jar e-juice, Jen. What do you think? 3 years? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Mason jars with zero nic. Oh, that should all last till rapture. If you don't have nicotine in it, and like I said, it really just comes down to it. If you don't have nicotine in it, it probably won't even change color. Nicotine, of course, will make it change color. Like I said, too, there's nothing in it that's going to hurt you. If you found a bottle of e-liquid that was 3 years old, just try it. You know, if the flavor has steeped too much, it'll probably get bitter, and it won't taste good. So you're not going to vape it anyway. You make a gallon at a time. None is over 3 months old. I'm worried about the FDA stuff, and I don't DIY. Yeah, I'd be worried about the FDA stuff too, actually. I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I mean, we need to talk about it, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good for us, guys. I'm more and more. I'm getting this feeling of our fate has already been decided, really, and all of this stuff that we're doing, that we're trying to fight it, is just smoke and mirrors. It's not going to change how this ends. So if I order juice without nic, it will last longer? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's the only gallon I make is my cake batter mix with vanilla nuts. Nice. It's not looking good for us, guys. I know, and I mean, I hate to agree with Bits here because I don't want you to stop buying from me. I still gotta pay my bills. You gotta order some Higgy juice because I gotta pay my bills. So if that's the case, and this is just smoke and mirrors, do you have a backup plan for you and David? Well, yeah, Mr. Crispers. In case you did not hear, there's a few people in the audience who have already had some, and a few people more that are getting some. We have started making flavored coffees. And I tell you what I had this morning. I need to move to the Saints. Believe me, it's been talked about, and not just in passing. It's frustrating. I don't know. Let me clarify this. I don't know that our fate has been decided. Okay, I don't know that this is all smoke and mirrors. I don't know that they're just kind of letting us scramble and fight and kick and claw our way through all of this shit that they keep throwing at us, you know, and knowing that in the back, you know, knowing in the backroom deals that this is already a done deal. They're, you know, but I don't know that that's the case. Okay, I get depressed. I get depressed when I think about it, and I start thinking, you know, this is all bullshit. You know, all the stuff that we're doing, all the stuff that we're advocating, and the money that we raise, and the lawsuits that we file, and the advocacy that we do in our states, and the meetings that we have, and the conferences we go to, and the lobbying on Capitol Hill, and the bills that we get written and introduced and signed, and the bills that we fight and everything. Like, it just feels like we're just, it's like a gladiator, you know, like they're just watching from on high. They're watching us scramble around and fight. They're all like, yeah, this is all coming out the same way. Like, we already know what's going to happen. It's not a big deal. Look at Messenger. Oh. I don't get why FDA are blaming the industry for kids vaping when it's about the kids smoking, drinking, the shop's fault for selling to them. I get it. Sloan, if we moved to the UK, I can almost guarantee we'd end up in Scotland. I'm not sure where in Scotland, but I can almost guarantee it'll be Scotland. It all goes back to Arkansas and Indiana. I know. Gottlieb's latest article is, and how you doing, Dr. Pennsylvania? Is very telling, but it could be to somehow set up a money grab of penalties. You know, I do. I'm agreeing with everything. I'm agreeing with everything that you guys are saying, really. I mean, like, it's frustrating, you know, because they're coming at us. They're coming at us from all these different angles, you know, that we can't even, they're coming at us so quickly from all these different angles. It's like we can't even stop to stand up before we try to knock us down again. You know, they're coming after the flavors. They're coming after the jewels. They're coming after you know, and nobody's listening to reason. You know, they keep coming out and saying, oh, this is happening. We're like, we just threw a study at you showing you that this is not the case. And then the FDA, Gottlieb wants to come out and be like, and we're like, we just damn proved that shit was not true. And you're going to come out with a statement? It's very frustrating, and it's very depressing. It's not looking good. On an AOL page? AOL? It's very, very frustrating. We all know kids like us as kids will smoke, vape, drink, and no matter how hard they try to law enforcement. You can't, no, I know that, Dr. Pennsylvania. I know that. I mean, look, I've told you guys this before. I was not a good kid. Okay? I'm really not sure how my parents put it to me. Because my parents came from a small little coal mining town in western Pennsylvania. And they weren't exposed to, you know, quote unquote big city problems, right? And I've grown up 20 miles from Atlanta my whole life, right? You know, I'm a city girl. There's no question about it. I am a city girl, and I like being a city girl. Okay, I don't want to live in the country. I like being in the city. And you know, and it comes with a whole different set of problems. You know, a whole different set of peer pressure, a whole different set of exposure, you know, exposure to drugs, exposure to boys, it's just a whole different world, right? I was not a good kid. Okay. I got my hands on shit I wasn't supposed to get my hands on long before it was illegal. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at, okay, so Carrie's sending me pictures behind the scenes here. Holy crap, you sent me a lot of pictures. Oh my gosh, look at this. Let's see here. Oh, I went past it. Grape is on. Wait, that was. No. I went way past it. Shit. Let's get to where she started sending me pictures today. Nope, that was last week. Oh. Here we go. Nope, that was the ricotta picture. She's having a glass of wine. Thank you so much. Cheers. You sent me a link that was broken, sweetheart. All right. Don't go to Scotland, go to Cardiff. I smoked when I was 13, drank when I was 14. Don't work when kids want to do something. It doesn't. No, it absolutely doesn't. That link was broken there, bits and pieces. So, listen to Chunk. I know, right? Go to Wales. I've never been to the UK. I would love to go. Yeah, he has admitted to vaping's benefits, and the data is on our side. Like, the proof is there. You know, and I find it almost surreal and absolute, like I look at the data, I look at the proof, you know? And I'm like, there's no way we can lose this. It's insane to think that anybody could look at the facts, right? And say, no, that we have to regulate the living fuck out of this, right? No, we have to make sure that it's beyond difficult for this industry to thrive, you know, under anybody else except big pharma or big tobacco, probably big pharma, right? How can you look at the facts and say, yes, I think it's necessary to put these heavy regulations? I saw a meme the other day that said, wacky tobacco. I know I'm not supposed to say it on here. The Mary Jane is regulated heavier than alcohol, and vaping is regulated heavier than cigarettes. Where's the logic in that? You know? You know, where's the logic in that? Because, yeah, if you want to talk about things that should not be regulated as heavily as they are, that's absolutely true. Why is it more difficult to have a vaping business than it is to have a tobacco business? Why is it more difficult? Why? That makes no sense. He can't use the facts to shut down vaping. He's going to protect the kids. He said if the big companies don't come with a plan to stop it. And I know that. Okay, I know that. But again, I'm getting to the point. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm depressed and I am scared. All right. He's on this kick. This think of the children. Think of the children. I get it. I get it. Think of the children. I get it. Right? But I feel like it's smoke and mirrors. I feel like it's smoke and mirrors. Look at this hand. Don't look and see what this hand is doing over here. Look at this hand. Look at this hand. Don't watch what this hand is doing back here. All right. I feel that if we're all scrambling around to prove that we're not selling to kids, right? And then he refuses to look at vape shops, right? He won't look at vape shops and see how many hoops we jump through every damn day to make sure not a single viewer is coming into my shows and watching this that is under 18 years old. Not a single person is coming onto my website that doesn't have an ID that they send me a picture of proving that they're over 18, 19 in some states, 21 in others. Okay? And every vape shop well, maybe not every vape shop I know, but most vape shops I know are jumping through hoops of fire every single day. I have one of my stores that carries us, right? He does not give a fuck about the kids. He is doing it in the open, no smoke, no mirrors. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. His smoke and mirrors is that it's think of the children, right? We're already thinking of I know, right? I am thinking of the children. I'm saving their fucking parents. And like one of the stores that carries us, right? He built inside his shop, okay, an enclosure. It doesn't go all the way to the ceiling, but it's about 4 feet tall, like walls, like a cubicle. He built a cubicle with a door that latches. All right, that is the tasting station. If you want to taste something, you have to enter this latched, enclosed cubicle. And that way he can say, okay, well, you know what, if you're a single mom, or you're just a mom in general, you got your kids with you, you need to come in and buy your stuff or whatever. This is my solution. You can bring your kids in here. They absolutely cannot go into this enclosed cubicle because there's a bunch of e-liquids there available for testing. I know shops that have absolutely stopped testing or stopped having testers at all. No, you can't test out a flavor at all. They do, and they only care. You're right. I agree with that too, Smurf. It's like, what the hell? We found out that the fine turns out when they get busted selling to a minor, they don't fine the shop. They actually fine the employee. The employee gets a fine, and then of course the shop ends up firing them. What incentive does that give the shop to actually tighten their policies? None. They absolutely, and that's just it. It's so fucking frustrating. But that's just it, though. He won't look at the shops that are doing their job, right? I mean, if he were to come out and say, look, I'm going to start fining the living crap out of everybody who breaks the rules. All right, bring it. Bring it. I'm ready. I am ready to prove to you that I had almost 900,000 products on the market before August 8, 2016. I am ready to prove to you that I go above and beyond what I'm supposed to do in order to prove that not a single person under the age of 18 is shopping on my site. I go above and beyond to make sure that I'm, giving people their battery safety. I'm giving people the how to handle their devices. I mean, I can prove that shit, It's the same with alcohol sales in the UK. The employee and the bar both get fined if caught selling to an under. But that's just it, though. They're not fining the store. They're fining the employee. What? What is that going to solve? You fine the employee, $100 or $200 or $500 or whatever it is. The shop fires the employee, and they're none the worse for wear. They don't care. They'll just get someone else to take that person's place tomorrow. And that's what actually Dimitri is doing. Dimitri is trying to actually change the laws in his state. He's going to the health department. He's saying, look, here are the guidelines. Okay? Here are the fines. And he's not talking, $50, $100 fines here. He's talking the first time a shop gets busted, you fine that shop $1,000. The second time, they get fined $5,000. They have to shut down for 3 days. Like serious fines. Make it happen. And that's what we need. Number 2, this one's for you, hubby. More than one reason. It's frustrating, but I feel, and James, I'm with you there too, right? I was 14. You know what I used to do? I used to dig in my pocket, right? Dig in my purse. Found $1.10 and change, right? Why is my nose so itchy today? It's driving me crazy. I'd find $1.10 and change, and I'd give it to my girlfriend, who her apartment complex was right next door to a flea market. And the flea market had a vending machine. Y'all remember cigarette vending machines? Hi, Bam Bam. Vending, yeah. So she'd go take my $1.10, right, that I had dug out of my purse and change, and she'd go put it in the machine, and she'd give me a pack of cigarettes to bring it to me at school. Yeah. That was how that worked. Doesn't your state pull their D permit if they have too many underage sales? I honestly don't know, Dire Thing. I'm actually not sure. I know that and that's just the majority of these, and Peach is right, Quick Trip sells Juuls now. The majority of these busts that have been made have been by convenience stores, gas stations, convenience stores, Walmarts, grocery stores, like, because I say take the vaping stuff out of those places. Those stores, those employees do not care if you know what you're doing. They do not care, okay? They are ringing up your starter pack, okay, along with your hot dog and your Coke and that you bought, you know, like, seriously, they don't care. In my state, if you get a few underage sales, you lose your license. That is the ban hammer for those stores. I honestly, like I said, I wish I knew, but I actually don't know. I know that there's a certain time period. The first one is like I think a warning. It might be a fine. If you get a second one inside of it's a time period. I don't know if it's a 6-month time period. I don't know if it's a year. If you get a second one, the fine goes up. You know, and you might I know it for alcohol sales. I know it goes up, actually. I had, there's a liquor store actually right by my house called the 29 Package Store. And it's called 29 Package because it's on Highway 29. And they got shut down for 3 days on the weekend. They made them shut down Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when it would really hurt their sales too, because they got caught selling to a minor. And I don't know if that's the first offense. I don't know if that was the second offense. I have no idea, but I know that it'll happen. I know, and that's just it though. He's looking at all the ways they can get it, and they're saying, okay, fine, I'm just going to shut everything down. And it's like I can't even talk to you, you know? Like if you're going to talk in absolutes like that, you're going to say, okay, here's this section of this industry that is scrambling and clawing and fighting and scratching to stay alive. And there's the rest of this here that's you know, this, think of the children. I don't know. It's like you can't even talk to somebody like that. It's frustrating. You cannot be in a gas station without beer sales. Yeah. As long as you have money, you can get it. Yeah, they're not supposed to. I know that there's stuff on eBay, but they're not supposed to be. Because PayPal's doesn't allow it. You know, people are always, why can't you have PayPal on your site? Well, it's not that I don't have PayPal on my site, it's that PayPal won't let me put it on my site. They're not having it. And Smurf, I'm with you there too. I've been told that by more than one person actually, that they see a lot of the new vapors, you know, people who are just looking to switch, that they won't go into a vape shop. They get intimidated by it. And I mean, I could understand that. I'd be intimidated by it too. You know, so they end up going to a head shop or a smoke shop or a gas station, and, you know, they buy their vape gear there because they're not going to get overwhelmed with, you know, high-powered devices and dripping and tanks and pod systems. And I get it. I get it. I was the last generation of collect some change for a pack of smokes. I'm saying, I mean, I think I was too, Doctor. I'm not sure how old you are, Dr. Pennsylvania, but I am 45 years old now. And, yeah, or online. Yeah, online is a good place to go. But I get nervous, you know, when I know, if for whatever reason, you know, I don't always know. I mean, people sign up on my website all the time. You know, I'm always approving new accounts, and I don't always know. Sometimes I can kind of tell when they place their order that they didn't know what they were doing, you know, and I'll call them up and I'll talk to them, you know, or I'll send them an email and, you know, talk and be like, you know, here, let me give you a little education. Like particularly, like say somebody signs up on my website and they immediately order 24 milligram, 100% PG e-liquid. I'm like, excuse me, let's have a talk. So, um, but yeah, I didn't really want to. You guys got me talking about it. I didn't really want to talk about it. I was the only one in one vape shop ever and bought a bottle of juice. I was only in one vape shop ever and bought a bottle of juice. So 9 years, I've spent tens of thousands on vape gear all online. Oh, wow. Me too. Me too. Me too. I'm 73. So we're in the same generation, absolutely. I mean, because I started vaping 7 years ago. You know, 7 years ago, vape shops didn't exist. You would get like a kiosk. The first e-cig I ever had, I think I got in 2009, I think. There was a kiosk in the mall. One mall. I had to go down to Lenox Mall. I'd heard about it, right? And the kiosk was called Smoke Anywhere. And I spent like $200 on this kit. And oh, it was horrible. Oh my God, I couldn't get into it. It was horrible. So, you know, and I put it down. I didn't get back to it until I met David 2 years later, and he had the Joyetech 510T, which was very attractive to me. And that's how I started vaping. Hi, Cassie. It's okay. We were waiting for you. No. But it's I do like getting ID'd. I'm with you, Sloan. Every time I go somewhere and they ask for an ID, they're like, "Can I see your ID?" I'm like, "Yes, you may." And they give them my ID. Like, hell yeah, you can. I don't understand when people get upset when they're just like, "Oh my God, you need to see my ID." I'm like, shit, take it as a compliment, woman or boy, whatever. You've never been ID'd in your life. I know, and that's just it, though. You know, I mean, I'm an online shopper, and of course, I don't have to buy my juice online anymore. Very spoiled in that respect. As a matter of fact, I already have a bottle set up in the lab because I need to make myself a bottle of juice when we go in there. So let's talk about what's up on the docket for tonight, shall we? All right, so last time we made Roger's Tapple, right? And I will say, Roger, I don't know if you're still here, RS, but it was really good to begin with. I did not end up taking it home because after I got off the cast and I was still hanging out for a little while, it was making me cough, and I don't know exactly why that is. I mean, some flavors do that to some people. You know, I've heard pear make some people cough. Pear does not make me cough. I love pear. I've heard grapefruit can make people cough. Again, doesn't make me cough. I love grapefruit. But I don't know if it was, maybe there was too much green apple in it. I don't know if maybe it was the sour that was making it too tart. But it was making me, oh, you had to do it.
Peanut Butter Buster is mine, bitch. Key lime ice cream is mine. What the? Who's that bitch now?
Still doesn't get old. So, I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Oh, is that I didn't, it was making me cough, and so I did not, it was good, but I think for me at least, I would need to adjust the amount of green apple in the flavor because I think it was just a little too tart for me. And I'm gonna say too, because I don't even want to admit this. I'm not loving the fatality. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I went back to my .com. Not loving the fatality, and I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not loving the fatality. I think what's happening is that I put those crazy don't anybody tell Aries. I hope he's not watching, because it's not him. It's just that those Fraplian coils that he gave me ohm out so low, and I'm just really struggling with it. The low ohms is making me struggle with trying to find the right airflow and the right wattage and getting the flavor out of it, and it's changing the flavor of it. You know, I've tried my key lime ice cream now, and I've tried my grapefruit lemonade in there, and it's not, the flavor is different, you know, and the vape is either too hot or I'm not getting enough flavor out of it, and I'm trying to adjust the airflow, and I haven't given up. I haven't given up yet, but I'm thinking that I need to take those Fraplians out and maybe put in the coils I'm used to. Because it's just not working for me, and it's definitely not the coils. They are amazing, extremely well made coils. You guys know this. I mean, I don't have to sell you guys on Aries' coils, but I'm just not loving it. So I went back to my .com, and I think my next step is I'm going to take those Fraplians out of there, and I'm gonna try it with the coils I'm used to. So it has nothing to do with the coils necessarily. It's just not my happy place, you know. I put those things are ohming out at like 0.09, 0.10. They're kind of floating around there, and it's just too low for me. On the other hand, David is absolutely loving it, okay? I mean, he told me, he actually said it to me this morning. He said that he figures I bought that for him because it was a way for him to stop spending money on coils. Because I get mad at him sometimes. I mean, he's really good at making his coils last longer than most people. You know, a lot of people say that they go through a coil a week, and David's pretty good. His coils will last him about 3 weeks, but I get a little frustrated with him sometimes, you know, because I mean the more he keeps upgrading his tank, the more expensive the coils get, you know, and when you have to buy them 3 or 5 at a time, you know, they get a little pricey sometimes, and so now he's got the magic of the awesome coil that he doesn't have to replace, but every 4 to 6 months, you know, with the flavor he loves and the you know, the vapor production that he loves. I mean, like, he's getting all of it. It's like he's having his cake and eating it too, you know. So if I'm not confident that I'm doing the right thing, if I'm not confident about what. Because I'm pretty confident that I will like the fatality if I need to be in my happy place. You know, I need my happy place. Okay? And right now, my happy place is 0.26 ohms with my Earl Grey tea flavor at 65 watts. That is my happy place, and I need to be in my happy place. Hi, Yardbird. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it's still sub-ohming Dr. Pennsylvania, but, you know, like I said, these coils, Aries makes them special for me because his coils don't ohm out this high. They ohm out at about 0.2. These are closer to 0.3, 0.26 at the moment. They fluctuate sometimes between 0.27 and 0.26. But yeah, I just, that's my happy place, and I'm not happy at point one. It's just not my happy place. So I need to try the fatality again with a new set of coils. But I'll get it. I'll get it. Pre-made coils. Well, that's just it, Dom. Yes, David has a sub-ohm tank, and he had. I mean, he's gone through the whole TFE series, right? I mean, he jumped on the TFE4 when it came out. He got the TFE8 when it came out. He got the TFE12 when it came out. He got the Prince when it came out. And he's been loving them. And he's always been about getting like the highest one too. Like they had the quad coil to begin with, and they came out with the 6 coil and the octo coil, and then there was like a 14. I don't even know what the prefix is for 14. Like it was the 14 coil thing. Like looks like a gat gun, like a revolver. Just an insane amount of coils. The lower the better, right? He's all about that super low ohms, super high watts kind of vaping, and I don't like that. That's just not me. I found my happy place, and that's where I like to be at, right? And then he recently he left the Prince, and he got the Fire Luke mesh, and he really likes the Fire Luke mesh, and he was able to lower his watts, and his batteries are lasting longer, his juice is lasting longer, like all of that stuff. I think the prefix for 14 coils is idio. Yeah, idio. The idio coils. So he's and that's just it, that he liked the Fire Luke mesh, but he is loving the fatality actually. So I am thrilled, because now his coils will last for months. We just have to make sure he stays rewicked. And you know what? Cotton, I can handle cotton. I got plenty of cotton. We can deal with cotton. Yeah, Vaping Smurf. I mean, you're playing down there where David does. It's just not me. It's just not me at all. All right, so if my nose does not stop itching, it's driving me crazy. It's like itching right here. It's driving me nuts. You have yet to get a .com. Dom, I tried many others. I can't stop. I really can't. I don't know what it is. Again, it's my happy place. I got several .coms. I've got other devices, and I've got other tanks, but I always come back to this one, and I love it. Do you mean you could jump down, turn around, and pick a bale of cotton? When using regulated, there's no reason to go that. I mean, Dr. Pennsylvania, yeah. David would disagree with you, I'm just saying. All right. Now, today's recipe was contributed by Got Bass. I haven't seen Got Bass in a minute, so I'm not sure if he's around. But this one's going to be I'm going to be experimenting, because I've never used this flavor before. Okay, but what he had suggested was a salted caramel, custard, hazelnut, vanilla bean ice cream. Alright, so I've got a salted caramel. I have not tried it yet, actually. I believe Peach, are you still here? You tried the salted caramel, I think. Maybe you could give me some insight as to whether or not it's a strong flavor. Like, is it a what? Salted caramel. Didn't you try that one? Didn't you make something with salted caramel? Was it an overly strong flavor? You've come so far since I first met you. I told you once to ditch the stock coils. There was no going back. I know, right? Me too. It does sound like a coil gunker. Absolutely. This is probably not something I'm going to take home with me. Absolutely not. It's not my wheelhouse at all. You did salted caramel popcorn. Now tell me, Peach, when you played with the salted caramel, was it an overly strong flavor? Was it one of those flavors that just does the hostile takeover of the other flavors if you overuse it? Like, is it on a level of 1 to 10, 1 being like the super weak, like, you know, cotton candy flavor, and 10 being like coffee? Like, where does it fall on the strong, you know, is it a code red? Like, she know, okay, look at this. Say I can talk. She's an input. We have our flavors color coded here. All right. If a flavor kind of falls in that, this is a normal strength flavor, it's not coded at all, right? If it's a little bit on the strong side and you might want to back it down if you use it, it's coded blue. If it's stronger than that, like mints, like I have my what do I have? I have caramel chocolate, flavor art flavors, you know, like meringue, the white peach, you know, those are code blue flavors, right? Minty flavors like menthol and culotta, those are code green flavors, right? And the super strong flavors like your tobaccos, your coffee, those are code red flavors, right? Those are flavors you do not need much of. We're talking 3 to 5% total in your bottle, right? So what would you give it? Would you give it an uncoated or a code blue, code green, code red? What color code would you give salted caramel? Peach is not the one to ask. She likes all her flavors strong. What's hard? You know, Mr. Crispers, you've got an, I give it a 5.5 to 6. Okay, so an uncoated. I would say that's an uncoated flavor. All right. Mr. Crispers, you do have a point though. She does like her overly rich sweet flavor. She'd be sitting in here in my office talking to me and she'd be vaping and shit and like this waft of just over sweet, like richness, just gooey sweetness would just fall all over me. And I'm like, good God, woman, what are you vaping on? When in doubt, blame Peach. It's true. It's true. She does like it. So I might take that into account maybe. I might treat that one like a code blue, just in case. So how long have you flowed on the code mode road? In all seriousness, probably about 2 years, maybe 2.5. We did not have the code system when we moved into this place, and that was 3.5 years ago. It wasn't until after I'd been here a while and I started realizing that I was going to need help, right? That I needed to somehow, you know, because all of this stuff was sort of in my head, you know, I'd been using these flavors every day and I was very intimately familiar with all of them. I knew which ones were strong and which ones weren't. I knew which ones had to, you know, to be careful with and which ones you didn't. And so I was, but I was like, at some point, you know, like all of this stuff in my head needs to be written down. Like I can't keep this stuff in my head, right? With Peach, that would be a code pink. Good point. Good point. But I was like, you know, it's I'm going to be a little bit morbid here for a second, guys, all right? And I don't mean to be morbid, I don't mean to bring anybody down, okay? But I'm going to tell you this right now. If you have, oh my gosh, my nose is driving me crazy today. It's like, it's right itchy right here. All right. If you have a mother, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, great aunt, you know, cousin even, second, whatever, all right? If you've got a relative who's getting on up there in years and they make something that is absolutely phenomenal to you, get the recipe from them. If they don't have it written down, make them write it down. Because here's a little something that you don't realize until it's too late. If that's something that your, Italian grandmother makes out of her head, when she passes away, it's gone forever. All right? I don't know how many recipes I will never be able to figure out because my dad passed away. All right? So you have your great grandmother's cookbooks. Good for you, Bits. Okay? If you've got something that you make that's in your head that everybody likes, write it down. Seriously. Write it down. Don't let that stuff die. Okay? Yeah, and I stand next to them while they're cooking it. Write it down because you won't be able to read their writing. Another good point. There you go, Peach. All right? And why did I say that? There was a reason I said that, actually. I was thinking about something, and I don't remember what I was thinking about, though. But what were we just talking about? Something we said that led me to say that. Okay, but seriously, we were talking about flavors. Oh, okay, yeah, because I had all this stuff in my head, right? I was talking about all of this stuff was in my head, and I'm like, this can't stay in my head, right? And I can't bring an employee in here and just expect to teach them all of this stuff in my head and expect them to remember it all. This is impractical, okay? It is imperative that you are able to pass this information along even if you're not there to do it. All right, that's where my point was, okay? And it's when that apps, don't forget to give me your peanut butter buster before you go. I'll get right on that, Mr. Christopher. But that goes for many other situations other than an e-liquid lab, though. Like, seriously, my dad was actually fairly good about writing down recipes, but I tell you what, they don't all come out the way he had them. My dad made this amazing mushroom soup for Christmas, and it's gonna sound disgusting to you guys probably, okay? But he would make this soup. It's a mushroom-based soup, all right? It had big chunks of mushroom in it and big chunks of hard-boiled eggs. Now, people usually hear that and they go, "Oh, gross." That's fine. You can think, "Oh, gross." That's more for me to eat at Christmas because this thing is the bomb. Okay. I don't know what he would do exactly to it. I know that there's butter in it, a lot of butter. Like, instead of water, there's butter. Okay. There's butter. I know there's a lot of horseradish in it. And there's cream of mushroom for the base. And I know that there's like I said, there's big chunks of sauteed mushrooms in it and big chunks of hard-boiled eggs. All right. And this soup is amazing. All right. My dad's been gone for 14 years now, and every year my sister-in-law has his recipe and she makes it. It's not the same. Hers is thicker. I don't know what my dad did to it. Maybe he never wrote it down. I don't know what he did to make it thinner. Okay, it's thinner and darker. So it's got this, it's like the consistency of, trying to think exactly what kind of soup would be. It's way thinner than a chowder. But when Teresa makes it, hers is like the consistency of a chowder, right? Dad's is like the consistency of a bisque, I guess. That's probably a good comparison. It's like a bisque. And Teresa's is like the consistency of a chowder. And the first year she tried to make it, no matter what we did to it, we could not get the consistency or the color right. I don't know why. We've followed that recipe to a T. And now it still tastes good. I'll still eat the living fuck out of that stuff. I mean, it's amazing. But it does not taste like my dad's. And I have no idea why. And I'll never know why. Polish guy at my old workplace used to make our soup, and the bowl was a loaf of bread. Oh yeah, I've had those. I've had those. I've had a loaf. I've had bread bowls, soup bowls, in a couple of situations. But yeah, my father passed away in 2005. Long before, on at least 3 occasions, I stood at his elbow learning how to mix certain drinks like he did. I get compliments on several I make. Yeah, no, absolutely. Beer. I don't think it would be beer. I don't think it'd be beer. That's not my dad. My dad was not a beer guy. I mean, he drank beer, but I mean, he didn't drink beer on a regular. My dad was not a drinker. But yeah, my dad did that too. My dad had made a couple of different cocktails. He did write those down. So I do know how to make those. But yeah. Have I seen her talked about the New York Daily News OP'd on vaping? No. I have not, Lead Pipe. Do you wanna call in and talk about it? New York Daily News opinion. Let's see what's happening. The stupid war on vaping. If anything, electronic nicotine delivery is saving lives from cigarettes. So this is from the New York Daily News opinion. Okay. A discrete, streamlined e-cigarette that resembles a USB drive is pretty cool. That's an advantage for labs, helping to attract more than 70% of the market, but also a problem because teenagers like the cool things. This week, the FDA sent letters to them and 4 other leading manufacturers of electronic nicotine delivery systems, threatening to remove their products from the market unless they come up with plans to immediately and substantially reverse the epidemic. And I'm going to put that loosely in quotes, okay? Because we've actually proven that even youth vaping has gone down. Youth smoking and vaping is at an all-time low. Check it out. But it's an epidemic. Whatever. These threats are based on the morally dubious premise that the interests of adults who might want to switch from smoking to a far less hazardous form of nicotine consumption could be sacrificed in the name of curtailing e-cigarette use by minors, which is already illegal. Yeah, it's already illegal. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb acknowledged that unfortunate trade-off, telling reporters his agency is considering actions that may narrow the off-ramp. Yeah, this is the part that pissed me off. Actions that may narrow the off-ramp for adults who see e-cigarettes as a viable alternative to combustible tobacco in order to close the on-ramp for kids. Gottlieb is talking about reneging on the FDA's 4-year extension for the deadline for seeking regulatory approval to continue selling e-cigarettes, which would wreak havoc with the market that he concedes has great potential for reducing smoking-related disease and death. Short of that, he suggests the FDA might force companies to stop offering e-liquid flavors that appeal to minors. Even though many smokers who use e-cigarettes quit, safe flavor variety is an important part of that process. Yeah, I can't read all this, but yeah, this is nothing we don't already know. All right, so what do you guys say? Okay, so oh, you guys are still, yeah, they don't know the meaning of the word epidemic. They really don't. All right, so let's talk about this flavor, this overly sweet and creamy, desserty flavor that we're about to make here. All right, so Pete says that salted caramel is not overly strong, which surprises me actually because caramel is a strong flavor. So I guess I don't need to treat it like a Code Blue flavor. So we have custard, we have hazelnut, we have caramel, and we have ice cream. Y'all ever just say fuck it and let's do equal parts of everything and see what happens? If they're going to take away flavors, I have a bunch of Higgy Bucks to cash in. I can't go without Higgies. First of all, thank you. Second of all, we're going to have to start selling concentrates. There's just we won't be able to hold, we'll have to. We're selling unflavored stuff, and we'll be selling concentrates. You guys mix it yourselves. You used it. She did use it with popcorn. And I don't know how strong popcorn is, right? So, yeah. So I'm thinking about just doing equal parts of all 4 of these. Custard, vanilla bean ice cream, hazelnut, and salted caramel. It's just kind of, after talking about all this, I'm kind of in a fuck it mood. And just feel like, let's just fuck it. Let's just do, I'll stick with my 15%. Oh, Bits and Pieces is saying do 10%. It's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, because I'm not going to like it at 15%. I think it's going to be too rich. Yeah, so let's do this at. There is a true popcorn flavor. Is there a true popcorn flavor, or is it just acetylpyrazine mixed properly? I actually have a couple of popcorn flavors that I wanted to try, and I haven't done it yet. I've got a popcorn. I think I have 2 popcorn flavors and a movie theater popcorn flavor, which I imagine is very, very buttery. And I haven't played with them yet. Peach played with one of them. If that's the combo you're going to use, Jen, then yes, equals parts. I've made that kind of juice before at 15%. Oh, high five. There we go. Jen, his entire plan of attack is in that article. You should read it completely when you have time. I will. Absolutely. I have it open, and I will keep it open, because I do want to read it. All right. Thank you, Jen. I just assumed it is an AP-based flavoring, at least the primary flavor. Like I said, I'm really not sure. It does smell like popcorn. I haven't tried it yet. Like I said, I have a couple of them. I have TFA's popcorn. I have I think Flavor West's popcorn, and I have TFA's movie theater popcorn. And I haven't played with them yet. All right, so let's make a fuck it recipe and do 2.5% of all 4 flavors. I'm an in-your-face juice lover too. I do. Like I said, I don't know. These are very rich flavors. 10% might cut it. All right, this might be because I color code my Higgy signature flavors too. All right, and so if it's a code blue, 10% is where you need to be, right? I do have code red, code green. I got Higgy signatures that are coded as well. All right. So we have Flavor West's. Considering what movie theater popcorn is, would that flavor just be diacetyl? I do not think so. No, actually, you know what, Dire Thing? I know so. That it is not diacetyl, because I've spoken with Linda Andrews at TFA, and their company is actually insured against using diacetyl. They do use acetylpropionyl. They use oh crap, what's the other one? Acetone and butyric acid. Those are 3 components that, when used properly, can mimic the flavor of diacetyl. When you put acetone or they don't have to be together, but acetone and acetylpropionyl, when they are allowed to steep, they can actually catalyze into trace amounts of diacetyl on their own. We're talking very, very, very small amounts. But they do not use actual diacetyl in any of their flavors. Now, whether or not, the diacetyl tends to form in trace amounts at a later date, that's kind of out of their control. Or if it forms in your e-liquid at a later date, again, that's out of their control, but the products themselves are not made with diacetyl. The 4 flavors are, we have Flavor West, salted caramel. Which custard would I use? I think I'm going to use Capella's custard. V1, Capella V1 custard. TFA's DX hazelnut. TFA's DX hazelnut. Now, the reason I use the DX hazelnut, for those of you who are familiar with TFA, you will find that there are several flavors on their site that you can choose either the original or the DX version. DX basically means Xing the diketones, all right? And acetylpropionyl and acetone are considered diketones. Diacetyl is also considered a diketone, but they don't use diacetyl, right? But DX means Xing out the diketones, all right? So they do not use, they use butyric acid usually in that situation. My question is answered because acetylpyrazine is on the warning list for diacetyl. Well, there you go. If you know where to look on the TFA website, they actually give you a gas chroma. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up. Chroma spectrum. I don't remember what it's called now. Gas chromatograph. That's it. Gas chromatograph. Let me find it in here. Is this it? Okay, acetylpyrazine. Here we go. Acetylpyrazine is okay. So they tested it. Gas chromatograph mass spectrometer. Yeah, okay. So they put this product through a gas chromatograph mass spectrometer and got the results. Okay, and the results were acetylpyrazine. It's 95% of propylene glycol and 5% acetylpyrazine, which is a roasted, nutty, bready, and yeasty flavor with popcorn and corn chip nuances. So there you go. Now I can tell you, let's go back. Let's pull up their popcorn flavor and see what it says. All right, let's see here. Popcorn, pomegranate. Here we go. They have a air popped flavor, a popcorn flavor, and a popcorn movie theater flavor. So let's go straight to the movie theater one and see what it says. All right, so in the movie theater popcorn, they have between 90 and 100% propylene glycol, less than 5% of 2H-pyrin 2,1,6-tetrahydro, less than 5% of butanoic acid, less than 5% of vanillin, less than 5% of decalactone, and less than 1% of 2H-pyrin 2,1 or tetrahydro 6-pentyl. Not a lick of acetylpyrazine in it. Pyrazine. So there you go. Look at that. Yeah, if you know where to look on the TFA website, they actually put all that information up there for you. They're very open about what they put in their stuff. Oh, did Prim have to leave? Okay, good night, sweetheart. Mwah. Okay. Nice, Bill. Just say GCMS like us in the forensic circles do. I'm trying to be informative here, okay? All right, so Mom's over here vaping. She's over here. Look, she's over here vaping. There she is! right. So this is gonna make our recipe pretty easy to do, since we're just making it equal amounts of everything. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Team Jen's mom. Oh, okay. That's right. I didn't finish it. I was talking about the hazelnut. I was talking about that the DX version of hazelnut is the one I use. And there's a reason why I use that. It is not necessarily because of the diketones or the lack of diketones. It is because when we tried the original version of hazelnut, it disappeared. Like, you would put it in a formula and it would taste fantastic. And then a week later you try it and it was gone. Not only was it gone, Dr. Pennsylvania said, Jen, you so look like your pretty mom. You just made her night. She is on that Blame Peach juice. She loves it. And Cassie says, hi, Mom. And after saying all the complicated words, the thing to remember is that you would have to dry out gallons of the stuff and then grind it to a fine powder and snort it to have an issue. You're right, Dire Thing. All right, so, yeah, when we tried the original hazelnut, and we tried a couple of different hazelnuts, and they all did the same thing. They would taste fantastic. I may not have tried Flavor West hazelnut. I know I tried Loran's, which turned out to be oil-based, so do not use Loran's. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I tried at least 3 different ones. And I thought I was going to have to give up on hazelnut. And like I said, it would taste fantastic. You'd make a flavor and you try it, you'd be like, oh, this is fantastic. And then you put it up, and a week later you try it. And not only would the hazelnut disappear, but it took all the other flavors with it. It would taste like nothing. Like, what the fuck, right? So, and why that didn't happen, because I know for a fact that Asbestos was making Nilla Nuts long before they came out with the DX version. And it wasn't happening to him. So I don't know why that wasn't happening to him, because every time I tried to make it, it would happen. It would dissipate, and it would take all the other flavors with them. And then we got the DX version in, and guess what? The DX version stuck around. The DX version stayed. It stayed strong. It stayed good. And it was like, we are sold. All right. What is wrong with the oil-based flavors? Ooh. You don't want to vape oil. I tell you what, Dr. Pennsylvania, think of it this way. Your lungs are like 90% water, right? And what happens when you mix oil and water? They don't mix. All right. Oil can actually coat your lungs and sort of block off the receptors that allows oxygen to pass between your lungs and your bloodstream. All right. Don't vape oil. It's bad. All right. You know what? That's possible, Dire Thing, actually, is that Asbestos just vaped it all too fast. No, but oil is not good. Your vape should be, your e-liquid should absolutely be 100% water soluble. I do not have a single product in my lab that is not water soluble. The nicotine, the PG, the VG, every single flavoring I carry, it is all water soluble. Do not vape oils. One of the things we used to do, actually, if it wasn't apparent, I mean, I don't really get a whole lot of new flavors in, but if it wasn't apparent by the description or the details on a website, if I got in a new flavor, first thing we would do is we'd grab a cup of water and we'd drop a few drops in it, and we'd see if it would mix with the water or if it floated to the top. If it floated to the top, it went straight in the trash. You think it would repel because of the oil water thing? I'm getting there, RS. It's just never heard that, but I've used oil. I've never used oil. Yeah, don't use oil in your vapes. All right. So like I said, the DX, yes, the DX version of hazelnut, the flavor stays. And like I said, it's just sort of a bonus that it's not using any diketones. The fourth flavor is TFA's vanilla bean ice cream, which is going to give it that nice vanilla creamy flavor, which the custard might already do. The custard, I'm using Capella's custard, so it's going to give it that kind of eggy flavor, that rich, full flavor, whereas the ice cream is just sort of, I would think, would be sort of a topping on top. So we will see how this comes out. All right, so 2.5%. Airborne oil mist is bad news. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't even really know, like, I can almost guarantee that the level of heat that you need to truly vaporize oil has got to be more than vaporizing water, you know, and I know it's not water, but it's propylene glycol, which is practically water. You know, I mean, it's thin enough, and it has all the same properties of water that water has. So I would imagine that vaporizing oil is a whole different ball game, and truly vaporizing it, and not just air, not just I don't know, you know, like, I'd be afraid of it burning. Oils are bad. Like, I got mad. I actually called Loran's at one point. I had a little tiny bottle of Loran's amaretto, and I had used it, and it had not pulled up. It didn't float or anything, and it was awesome flavor. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. So when I ran out of it, I bought a bigger bottle, and wouldn't you damn know it, it was oil based. Do not use Loran's amaretto flavor. It's a fantastic flavor. Don't vape it. It separates. It's terrible. But another thing too is whenever you can see it. If you have oil-based flavors, you'll see them separate in your bottle. Bad news. Bad news. Look at that. Bill's right on the money there. Needs 270 degrees Celsius to vaporize. I don't know if our vapes get up that high, but that seems really hot. All right. So we've got 2.5% of Flavor West salted caramel, Capella's custard version 1, to TFA's DX hazelnut, and TFA's vanilla bean ice cream. 2.5% across the board. We're gonna see how this is gonna work out. I'm gonna write this down in my recipe sheet here. What are we gonna call this? We need to call it something. Let's call it caramel, creamy caramel. How's that? Creamy caramel. It's not real original, is it? Ah. Alright, so that's going to be 0.8 of everything. And see? Okay. Call it fuck the FDA. Bits, man, I'm gonna go home and enjoy me a glass of that Valpolicella. If you guys have never experienced Valpolicella red wine, I'm telling you now. No camel caramel. That's cute too, actually. Hazelnut Vacram. Hazelnut Vacram. Creamy caramel nuts. That's a long name. How about FUFDA? There is a juice out there called FUFDA. I've seen it. I don't remember what the flavor profile is on it, but somebody did release a flavor called FUFDA. And they claim it's something else. We're all like, yeah, whatever. I saw at one of the VTA conventions, or not conferences, not a convention, a conference, I saw a shop owner. He had a tattoo. He had tattooed FUFDA Yeah, now that's somebody that is serious. It was a tattoo. It was like right here on his arm too. And it was in the FDA font and everything. It said FUFDA. Salted caramel, custard, vanilla or hazelnut, and vanilla bean ice cream. Those are the 4 flavors. Call it Hazel's caramel ice cream. Ooh, that's getting dry. You know what? That's a good time for me to go into the lab. It's already 9 o'clock. I've only got an hour. All right, let's do this. Y'all ready? I will be back in just a minute. Enjoy some Offspring while I get suited up. Ooh, Bill. Fried ice cream is so good. Mm-mm-mm. I have my churro recipe, which is pretty damn tasty. Apparently my computer rebooted itself at some point, and it's a little bit behind the times here. All right. All right. So, oh, while I'm down here, I'm gonna grab the bottles I need. I need custard and vanilla bean ice cream. And hazelnuts. And over here in my testing flavors. We got Flavor West Salted Caramel. Alright, so how you guys doing? Oh, I need to pull the chat up. There you go. Sorry, wine is taking effect. Jen, I got the 10 mil of churro today and it was gone in 10 minutes. Damn! I have to say, I'm actually really proud of my churro flavor. I went to, there's this Mexican joint right across the street. And, hang on. There we go. There's this Mexican joint right across, not across the street. It's sort of across the street. It's spitting distance. And they have a great churro. You know, just little pieces of fried bread coated in sugar and cinnamon, right? And they give you a little side of ice cream and a little side of whipped cream to go with it. Oh, it's so good. And when I went to, we went and had it one night, and I came back here and I made it in the lab. You know, I tweaked it and, you know, picked out all the flavors I need for it. And then I went onto our website that we have an account at this website where you can get royalty-free images. You buy them so you can use them on your website and in advertising, stuff like that. And I'm looking for a picture of churros, right? And I couldn't find one. All of them showed the churros with a chocolate sauce on it. And I did not want a chocolate sauce. I did not make a churro with chocolate. I made a churro with whipped cream and ice cream, right? Absolutely no chocolate involved. So we went back to the Mexican joint across the street, got an order of churros, ate at the restaurant, so that it came out on this plate real cute and everything. It had the 6 churros in like a star pattern with the whipped cream and the ice cream in the middle. Took a picture of it. That's what's on our website, just in case you were curious. That picture on our website, taken right there at that restaurant. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself my own juice because I'm almost out and I will not last until Monday, and I will be very mad at myself if I forget to make this tonight. So I'm going to do that real quick if y'all just be patient with me. So I have the flavor of the concentrate pre-mixed. I have the base pre-mixed. And boom, I'm done. Grab an extra lid while I'm over there since I know I'm going to need it. And that's how long it takes me to make a bottle of juice. So, boom, Jen's is done. All right, now let's make this bottle that we're talking about here. All right, so it was 0.8 of everything. So we have Flavor West Salted Caramel. That's some quick mixing, right? Which bases do you have at 12 milligram pre-mixed? I have 2080, 2575, and 3070. Those are the most. We didn't have any 12s done initially, just because they didn't get ordered that much. But then we started having some shops that was ordering 12 milligram, and we decided that we needed to have the bases mixed at 12 milligram. And the shops don't generally order. Yeah, they generally don't order anything but the 2080s, the 2575, or the 3070. So, yeah, those are the only ones that we've made at 12 milligram. You slept since you were there? Well, Cassie, come on down. Come on down and come play in the lab. All right, so we're going to take 0.8 of a milliliter of all of these flavors. So that's the salted caramel, the DX hazelnut by TFA, the vanilla bean ice cream by TFA, And Capella's vanilla custard original version. All right, so our flavors are in there. Let's give it a smell. Oh, that's rich. Damn, that's rich. All right. So what else do we need now? We need 0.9 milliliters of nicotine. We need 3.6 milliliters of PG. And then we're going to fill it up with VG. Are y'all asking more questions? To have access to all 200 plus flavors is amazing. Well, you not only had access to 200 plus flavors, you had access to all of the mixers as well. Like, you had access to stuff that you can't buy on the website. You know, you had access to all the ones that we got in for just to play with, and because all these ones up here and all these ones back here are all play flavors. Just flavors that, you know, we want to play with that we don't use on a regular basis. So you had access to all of it. She had fun. All right. What else did she say? What else is going on here? There isn't many that I don't have. Yeah, no, Bits and D Millen, I know D Millen has more flavors than I do. I'm not sure about Bits and Pieces. She probably has more flavors than I do too. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really get in a whole lot of new flavors after August 8, 2016. You know, it used to be every time I placed a flavor order, I'd throw in 5 or 6 new flavors just to play with. I don't do it anymore because why? You know? Why would I order extra flavors? It's not like I can make anything out of them. It's not like I can sell anything out of them. It doesn't make me any money, so I don't do it. All right, so once you put all that into the bottle and you shake it up, you want to put it in your boob steeper, right? And then we're going to go re-wick and we're going to taste and see how this tastes. I'll see you guys in a minute. Damn it, I almost forgot my bottle. I would have been mad. Okay. What y'all talking about? Why does tiramisu have to taste so freaking yummy? Because I made it. Because I made them. I love my Amazon Fire Stick. Love it. Oh, that's right. This is getting dry. Let's hurry up and re-wick so that I don't have to go without vaping. All right. So, thank you for another. You're absolutely welcome, Yardbird. I wish I could sell it to you. All right, we'll see how this tastes. I know. Let's see. Is my bill cam? Oh no, it's not too bad. Let's move this over just a little bit. People keep knocking it over. All right, here we go. I have not done my nails in forever, guys, so they look like shit. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah, awesome. All right. I meant the real thing. Just had some from Olive Garden. Now I have to order more cheese. I am Peach knows too. I'm a big tiramisu fan. It's one of the reasons why I made a vape taste like it, because I am a big tiramisu fan. I actually made that vape for my friend Wendy. She and I were always big tiramisu fans. We met, God, I was 17. I think she was 19 when we met. And yeah, it was like, we were like the tiramisu sisters even back then. So when she started vaping, I decided to make a tiramisu flavor just for her. And she actually surprised. She didn't order it that much, but that juice was created in honor of my friend Wendy. Oh, Breeze. Is Breeze in? Wait, was Breeze in here? I don't remember. There was more than one person. Okay. Does anybody remember the auction? I know you remember the auction. There was a girl named Wendy in the audience, and she wanted the IPV Eclipse, the red one like mine. And she, had bid on it, and then Breeze popped up and said, "Here's some extra for, one Wendy to another." And then I think RS popped in and gave some, and a couple people all basically banded together and helped Wendy get this device. And I wanted to let you know that I haven't. She's one of my very best friends, so it's kind of sad that I haven't talked to her much since the auction. But we did talk on my birthday on Wednesday for a while, and she was telling me how much she absolutely loves her IPV Eclipse, loves it. So if there is anybody in the room who helped contribute to Wendy getting Wendy Hawk, hawk like the bird, caw caw, getting the IPV Eclipse, I wanted to let you know that not only does she love it, but she is eternally grateful to everybody who helped do it. Helped her get it. I'd imagine you would say stuff the vaping and just have Aries Ram intravenously. Nice. All right, so these are pretty cleaned off now, and they're heating nice and evenly because they're awesome Aries coils. I have a feeling, though, that these wicks are going to be very... there is a strange, hard to get hold of flavor in Aries Ram. Like, in a good way? Oh, I will tell you too, Bill, that David had his first cold brew of Aries Ram yesterday. He had set it to brew, and he was surprised to find out that you have to put so much more coffee in a cold brew than you do. Like, it's like 4 ounces of coffee in a cup. So I mean, he said he put like half a pound of coffee in 2 cups of water, right? Oh, is there a strange, hard to get hold of flavor in Aries Ram? No. I'm not going to tell you what's in it, though. It's one of my best sellers, dude. I'm going to tell you what's in Aries Ram or how much. Anyway, so he set that to steep a couple days ago, and he had it, I believe it was yesterday, for the first time. I think he had my mom have some of it too. He said it was very interesting. Very interesting. He was enjoying it. I'm not sure if he finished it all. David is definitely a hot coffee kind of person. Alright, that was a very thick piece of Muji cotton. We are not going to use anywhere near all this cotton. It is still very, very fluffy and is not thinned out nearly as much as it needs to be. I'm not asking what it is, just is there something unexpected and hard to get in it? No, there is not. It's all the flavors are actually pretty common. It's just put together in a very mysterious way. Alright. And that piece is too thick. I'm going to tear that off too. Aries blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. I won a bottle of Aries Ram the night that I... Oh, did you? It's called Higgy's Love. That's what's in the bottle. I could go for that, actually. Yep. Me and my Scottish roll. This wasn't on the last album. No, this was on, I don't think this was on, no, this was on, shit. What's the name of that album? Crap. What was, this was not, it wasn't on Black Star. It was on the last one. Now you're going to make me go look. The one where he's, his eyes are all whited out on the Heathen. Heathen. This is on Heathen. Ha! I remembered before having to look it up. Haha. That was, well, I don't know if that was his last album before Black Star. I know that Heathen came out in like the early 2000s. Early to mid 2000s, I think. And I loved that album. I'm a big fan of it, actually. I do have 1 or 2 songs from Black Star in my playlist, though, because I'm a big old Bowie fan. Big old Bowie fan. David was so sweet. The morning that he passed away, he came and woke me up, actually, to tell me, because he didn't want me finding out on Facebook that he had passed away. He wanted to tell me himself, and he didn't. Yeah, it was sweet. He, you know, because he knew I was going to be, it was going to hurt, and it did. It still does, actually. Yeah, the Black Star videos are amazing, and that was the thing too. Like, I mean, I honestly, guys, I'm gonna say that I think David Bowie. I think David Bowie set a new bar of classy. When it comes to, like, you know, how do you go, you know? I mean, you know, there have been other musicians, of course, that knew they were sick and whatever, and you know, they had their tributes and whatnot, but you know, David Bowie, you know, hardly anybody even knew he was sick. He kept writing, he kept making amazing music, he made videos, he went out, and I was like, nobody knew he was sick, and then once he was gone, all of a sudden all of his recent videos and songs made sense, you know? And people were just like, oh, that's what happened. And I, like, seriously, that was just a whole new level of class to me. I thought it was just super awesome and super classy of him to just go out with a bang, you know? Jen is obviously dual coiling. She made the Doobie Brothers. I did make the Doobie Brothers. This is being... Alright, occasionally, guys, you will have a cap from us that stupid little ring doesn't like to break. So if that's the case, just take a razor blade or a knife and cut these 4 anchors that are holding that ring on. Personally, if I could get these without the ring, I would, but I can't. There you go. Get rid of that stupid thing. Last number 3, and my son is getting it. Good boy. Stop screwing the rings. Hi, Aries. How you doing? I hate them. I hate them so much. All right, let's see here. So we're calling this, what are we calling it? I had it. Creamy caramel. That's what we're calling it. Creamy caramel. There we go. All right. You know what? We can call it that too. How about that? Well, that took you time. That took you damn long enough. Aries, I know, I'm so excited to be able, you know what? I want to be able to announce that to everybody. I want you to see my face. Aries went and had his surgery yesterday, and it went so well that they sent him home a day early, and he is already at home relaxing with his chihuahuas and grannies in his own home, able to vape his brains out. And I'm so very, very excited for. Ooh, I forgot to do this. Whew! That is some rich, creamy shit right there. Alright, that looks pretty good. Nice and wet. There you go. You know, you guys like to see the what? Okay. Okay. Alright, we ready now? The chihuahuas aren't allowed near you? Oh no. I had a few stealth vapes just before getting pushed into the OR. Way to go. But still, you're home where you're comfortable and you are, it's awesome, actually. I'm so glad that it went well and that everything is cool. So you will possibly be getting this thing turned on in a couple weeks, I think you said. I'm excited for you, like really excited for you. Are you in a lot of pain? Or do they have you doped up good and well? Like, how are you feeling? Are you in good spirits? Are you suffering? I know you can't wear your prosthetic for a few weeks, so you're going to be you'll be hopping around like that chick from My Name is Earl. Huh. Wow. Wow, that just kept on going. So when I tasted it on my finger, all I tasted was like custard. Tasted a little bit of hazelnut in the background. Wasn't sure if I could taste any caramel at all. Now vaping it though, I do taste that caramel, that salted caramel kind of up front. The hazelnut is mixing with the two creams and just sort of pushing the caramel up. So it's right there behind it. The cream is... Ooh, somebody's calling in. Woo! Hi!
Hi.
How you doing? Let me turn the
I'm
music
doing
down.
okay. Obviously, don't put me on cam.
No, I'm not. But well, you got your camera turned off anyway.
No, it's turned on, but I got it flipped around just in case you already had me popped up.
No, I don't. But I could. I mean, yeah, I could put you on cam, but it'd be just a big old black spot.
You really can't put me on cam because no.
Well, I mean, just saying it'd just be a big old black spot. I can't see your ass.
Well, I've got it. I've got the cam and the microphone. Okay, so you know my main computer station?
Yeah.
I've literally got the cam and the microphone on modified tripods in between my recliner and my main station.
Okay. All right.
And Cassie, if you saw my stomach right now and everything else, you'd understand why I was topless.
Oh man, I can imagine. You have staples?
Yeah. I've got 3 sets of incisions.
Okay.
I've got 1 across my side.
Okay.
I've got 1 set on my hip.
Okay.
And I've got a massive one going vertically down the back center of my leg.
Wow.
All in all, we're somewhere around the...
On your hip? So you're like naked, aren't you?
Well, no, I've got my shorts on. but no, we're somewhere around the 60 staple mark.
Wow. Okay. All right. Guys, to give you a frame of reference, when I had my liver surgery and they had to cut me from my sternum down to my right hip to get it all out, I believe I had 27 staples, if I remember correctly. So he's at more than double that. So that's, that's a lot of real estate.
Just my side incision is 11 staples.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on. I probably wouldn't show this to them, but where are you at? There you are.
Oh, excuse me.
That's a picture that I took from yesterday, so that was the day of surgery.
Oh, I get to see goriness. Okay. I gotta tell you a story. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that actually looks really clean.
Oh, these were rock star surgeons. Like,
that looks really clean.
Surgeons.
Like, that's gonna heal really nice. So he kind of showed me a bloody bandage and the staples underneath. Y'all don't want to see it. But I gotta tell you guys a story here. This is hilarious. So when I was in the hospital for my liver surgery, and I didn't have rockstar. I mean, I had a brilliant hepatologist, okay, but plastic surgery not so much. My scar did not heal that well, because he put the staples in and then squeezed the staples, so they all kind of came to a little point, like a house, right? And for several, for a couple of days after the surgery, I had bandages on, right? And then the day they took my bandages off, my family all came to visit, and now this is what's hilarious. Okay, now you have to understand, my dad and me are kind of birds of a feather. We're all like, ooh, yeah, I want to see, and don't get grossed out very easily. And apparently my sister-in-law is also like that. My brother, on the other hand, a little squeamish, right? So my dad got there first, and I was like, I said, I got my bandages off today, and I was like, do you want to see? And he's all like, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, so I pulled my gown up, and I showed him, and he's like examining it, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. And then later on, my brother and his wife got there, and I said, I got my bandages off. You know, do you want to see it? And Teresa's all like, yeah, I want to see. And Joey was kind of like standing back, kind of like going, yeah, you know, like that. So I lifted my gown up again, and Teresa leans over, right, and she starts going like this, right, and she looks at me. She says, "Can I touch it?" And I'm like, I mean, I couldn't feel jack shit there, so I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so she starts poking at it, right, and my brother's over there going, "No touching, no touching."
No, for obvious reasons. So I just sent you a second picture. For obvious reasons, that bandage hasn't come loose. Okay, I mean it's staying put because that's
Ooh.
the back of my leg.
Okay. What was the first one?
What do you mean the first one?
The first picture you sent.
Oh, that was my side.
Oh, okay.
That's where they actually implanted the actual device.
Okay. All right. Wow.
And
All right.
apparently this one is like twice as long as that one.
Wow. I'm super excited for you though. I mean, anything that has the possibility of giving you some relief is A-okay in my book.
So I am now the offspring of RoboCop and the T-1000 with cybernetic implant.
Wait, T-1000 was the mimetic polyalloy. I don't think that you're a melting person yet.
Just give me time.
T-101 I'll go for, but T-1000...
No, just give me time. I'm getting there.
I find it fascinating too, Gaily Bobs. I've never been squeamish about anything, you know. I mean, I could watch open heart surgery and eat my lunch at the same time, you know, like it doesn't bother me.
Oh, you can actually watch those on YouTube. But they all have that disclaimer at the beginning, you know, for educational purposes, you know, not suitable for under certain ages. And
I've never actually Googled or YouTubed open heart surgery, but that's nice.
Oh no,
to know
I've watched mania surgery on YouTube.
Nice to know that you could get it there. Actually, I never tried, but
oh yeah, I mean, some of the doctors that are having residents come in, you know, they will have them watch so many hours of YouTube surgeries before they will actually let them into an actual OR. Right.
Peach says that she thinks you're a combo of Hal and RoboCop. Just saying.
No, Hal had just become self-aware, and I've been fully self-aware for a very long time.
My dad mashed his toe at work when I was a kid, and I had to change the dressing because my mom was squeamish. Wow, how young of a kid? Like, how little were you when you had to do that? You know, like, and David's not squeamish either. Like, he would have totally been right there next to Teresa, like, doing this number. He was all about it. It was so funny. My mom was a little grossed out by it, though. She doesn't do squeamish either. He's part man, part machine. It's Aries JJ. I'm surprised he didn't have them install a drill while he was under.
I may go back and see if they'll revise that.
Like the detachable hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
there you go.
like off and on. Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Little bayonet connection.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the options are limitless. Think about it. I mean, you could put on a hand, you could put on, you know, utensils for eating, you could put on a gun, you could put on a flamethrower, right? I mean, you got the what was the model number of the Terminatrix?
Oh, from Genesis?
No, Terminatrix, Terminator 3.
Oh, good grief.
The chick. See, she had the different machines that she could make her hands out of. You hear Aries JJ is in the background. We do not have him on cam because he just got home from the hospital having an experimental,
She was just a straight up TX, wasn't she?
Yes, that was the TX. That's right, TX, yep. His leg is going to have a hidden mod in it.
Actually,
What good would it do to have a mod in your leg, dude?
No, well, I mean, my prosthetic, I could actually hook up a 510 to it because it actually has an 18650 in it.
Yes, I do remember you telling me that.
And so, yeah, I could actually do that. That actually wouldn't be that difficult.
Hi, Gail.
And my stomach is now rechargeable.
He could put on the bug assault. Did you see? Okay, I was talking about. You'll have to wait to see this on the cast, but
I saw. I had
one of my birthday presents.
I was in a call before I came on here, but I had the video playing off to the side. So yeah, I saw you waving that around, but I wasn't sure exactly what that was.
This is my bug assault. You put regular old table salt in it.
Table salt and you shoot flies. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I know what that is now. Because I was actually in a call with Gail and Zan, and I told them, I said, I don't know what she's doing, but she's waving around the camouflage gun with an orange tip. So I know it's a toy, but I have no idea what it is. And when you said salt, I've heard of those. The bug assaults, yeah, you can shoot table salt at flies and it'll just...
I'm hoping it'll work on palmetto bugs. We had a long discussion about how bad the palmetto bugs are around here. And about I'm so petrified of them. I know they can't hurt me. And I know that they're not infestation type bugs, they don't breed in your walls or anything like that. They come in from the outside, but they're so ugly and scary. And I'm really hoping. I haven't seen one yet. I'm patiently waiting. I went outside after I got this. I went outside and walked around the building. Couldn't find a fucking bug to kill. Not even an ant on the sidewalk. Like, what the hell? Dr. Pencil Vapey says, tell him I'm glad he's okay. I did not know because I was sick for a few weeks and lost touch with everyone.
It's all good, Vape.
He's not sick. He had is it an experimental surgery? It's an experimental...
It's a clinical trial for a neurostimulator, but instead of it going into the spinal canal, they burrowed it down into my amputated limb, and they wrapped a coil. Not one of my coils, someone else's coil. So, yeah, around the sciatic. Originally, it was going to be around the main sciatic nerve, and instead, what they ended up doing was, because of where the sciatic nerve branches off to the sciatic slash tibial nerve and the common nerve, they actually wrapped it around just below that branch on both the common nerve and the tibial nerve. So instead of just installing one set of silicone coils, they installed 2 sets.
And the point of this is to potentially block the nerves to stop his phantom limb pain, right? Phantom.
Yeah.
Phantom pain.
And straight up stump pain on top of that.
Okay.
Kind of bits. It's not really a TENS unit. Generally the same idea, except it doesn't send shock pulses. It just sends interrupt pulses. So it's not going to, spasm like when you have a TENS unit on. It's not going to massage.
Peach says, did they stamp Coil Master on your ass? If not, you're good.
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the shape of that incision.
Seen my ass yet, but
I haven't seen the shape of that incision.
We'll get Granny's to tell us. She'll look at your ass.
Yeah, she says no. That's probably gonna be a while before we see that.
Yeah, and bit to make it gel in Bits' head. That's what she's saying. Is that it's an internal TENS unit.
No, I get that.
So yeah, I was talking about my birthday though. I had an amazing birthday dinner at my favorite Italian place called Provino's. So I was talking all about my birthday. I got my bug assault gun. I got another diamond painting from my mom, and we went out to Provino's. And then David brought his quartet back to the house, and they sang to me, and it was really cool. So it was a very nice birthday. Pain makes me wait, best of luck to you, Aries JJ. Pain makes me its bitch.
Oh no. I have a very, very, very high pain tolerance. I'll put it this way. Okay, so the anesthesiologist came in, and he's like, so we're gonna give you some anxiety and happy meds before we take you back there to kind of chill you out. I said no. I said I'm good. He's like, no, you'll want these, because surgery. I said, look, I've probably been in an OR more than you have, as a patient with you being a doctor. I said, so no, I'm good. I don't need those. I said, plus they make me fuzzy for a few days, so no, I don't want those. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty damn sure. So he's like, okay, that's up to you. And he starts wheeling me into the OR. And when we go into the OR,
Shut up, Peach.
there is literally like 18 actual doctors in there.
Oh wow.
I'm talking 18 full-blown doctors. That's not counting the nurses and the OR techs and all that. I mean, we are in the biggest OR that they've got, and it's packed.
It's like, fuck that, give me the shit.
No, oh no,
With you too.
No, and then he pulls out, that stack of injections for the anesthesia. I said, and that one doesn't go anywhere near me. It's the amnesiatic. He's like, well, you realize that if I don't give you this, you're gonna remember all this. I said, exactly. I said, so that one goes out the door. I said,
You were stayed awake?
No, they put me under, but I didn't let the amnesiatics that they give for amnesia. I mean, for anesthesia, they stay in my body for like 3 or 4 days, and I can't shake it. I literally can't shake it for like 3 or 4 days. So I've just told them, to stop giving it to me because I don't like having that stuff in me that long.
Well, what is it that it makes you forget?
Well, so whenever they give it to you, generally it back traces and you don't remember anything that's taken place probably from about 10 minutes before they actually wheeled you out of pre-op.
Okay.
You lose all that time. And for me, I actually lose more, and I lose after. And so I tell them, no, I don't want that because I end up all loopy and it fucks with me for like 3 or 4 days. And it doesn't help me anyways.
Right.
So, no. Take that. I don't want it.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I remember, because for my appendectomy, I mean, I don't think that they gave me that actually, because I was totally, like, I remember being wheeled into the OR and I literally crawled onto the operating table myself kind of thing. Like, they were real casual about it. They're all like, what's up? And I'm like, cool.
Here's the thing. Every surgery, for the most part, unless it's a trauma surgery, every patient actually climbs onto the OR table themselves. Just nobody remembers it because of that amnesiatic.
Okay.
Because your body remembers the pain of the first 3 major moves of the operation itself. With that amnesiatic, your body forgets that.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not sure whether I don't think I got it when I had my appendectomy, but like I said, it was a quick,
Yeah, your appendectomy was an emergency situation. They probably didn't have time to give that to you.
Little lappy-appy. I mean, I was in and out of there in like 30 minutes kind of thing, so
right.
I think I was out for a total of an hour. Now for my liver surgery, that's a little bit different. I do remember being in pre-op, because I kind of had a little panic attack actually when I was there. I was sitting there and I was by myself because they'd taken me out of my room and my husband had stayed back in my room, and they wheeled me down to pre-op, and I'm sitting in this stall. I got curtains on either side of me, and they came in to tell me that because we had talked about giving me an epidural. And the doctor had said that his patients, that it wasn't necessarily, but that his patients do better when they have an epidural.
Right.
And so they came in and they did a blood test on me, and they came back and they said, your coagulation levels are low, and we can't risk giving you an epidural because you could bleed out your spine. Right. And I don't know why, but for some reason that just gave me this panic attack that I just, now this wasn't going to work. And I started to cry and I started getting upset.
And that's when they come in with the happy meds.
And I was there by myself, and there was somebody in the stall next to me because they told my husband he wasn't allowed to come with me to pre-op. But there was somebody in the stall next to me that had people with them. And I'm like, why do they get people and I don't?
Oh no, Granny's was in there in pre-op with me. And of course, she had her little MyJet with me, so I was able to get a few stealth little puffs off of that.
Cool.
Because I didn't realize until like 4 a.m. the morning it was about 3 a.m. the morning of surgery, which we had to leave to head to surgery, we had to be there at 5 a.m. It wasn't until about 3 a.m. when a massive puff went out and it went straight to the smoke detector.
Oh,
that
shit.
we realized that, oh wait, it didn't set it off.
Ooh.
This bitch about to become mine, because they had big old signs everywhere, $250 fee for smoking in the room.
Oh, wow.
Well, if you set off the alarm, it goes even higher.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
So no, during that small little time frame before, when it happened and when I had to wake everyone else up, because I didn't sleep that night, I fogged the place out. Oh yeah, she was over there vaping. She pulled one of my moves. She was over there vaping in her sleep. Oh, and those beds suck ass. Oh my god, those beds are horrible.
Oh, man. Bit says crying before surgery makes for a happy ending. I can't say that. Like I said, I'm sure that I got that amnesiac whatever stuff for my liver surgery, because the next thing I remember after the surgery was waking up in the recovery, ridiculously dry-mouthed and in so much pain and begging for water, and they wouldn't give it to me.
Nope, because the reason why they won't give you water in post-op is just in case something happens and they have to wheel you back into the OR.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so, my mouth was so dry, and I'm sure it was probably from the ventilator. But it was, I mean, my throat was sore, my mouth was dry, and I couldn't even talk. All I could do was whisper because my throat was so sore, and begging for water. At one point, they gave me a sponge that was soaked with water and let me suck on it, but that was all they would let me do. And it was so bad. They wouldn't give me ice either, Bits. I mean, like I said, the only thing they did is they took one of those stupid little swabs, the little pink swabs, and they dipped it in water and let me suck on that.
Yeah, exactly, Bits. Ask for ice. They will give you ice.
They wouldn't give me ice that time. I don't know why. But then the funny part about that was, so I'm still in recovery, right? And I had this bitch of a nurse come over. And I'm laying there. I can't move. I've had 2 organs cut out of me, right? And she goes, I need you to roll over. I need to put in your epidural. Because they were like, well, because they told me, they said, because when I got all upset about the epidural beforehand, they said, look, just calm down. They said, after the surgery, we'll take your blood again. And if your coagulation levels have come up, we'll give you the epidural afterward. And I'm like, all right, that helped me calm down a little bit. So afterwards, I'm laying there. I'm in the most unbelievable pain. And I'm like, she's like, I need you to roll over. I need to put your epidural in. And I'm going, are you aware that they just cut 2 organs out of me? What do you mean roll over? Right? Like,
for those of you who have never had an abdominal surgery, your ability to twist, lean forward, or
you can't use your abdominal muscles for anything.
No, they're gone. Like totally toasted.
Okay, and you don't realize how much you use your abdominal muscles until you can't use them. Okay, you use them to do anything. Okay, whether you're sitting or standing or laying or twisting or whatever, you use your abdominal muscles to move almost every time you move. All right, and so I'm like going, what do you mean roll over? And she's like, well, I have to get to your spine. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed onto the bed railing, right, with both arms, and I tried to use my arms to pull myself over, because I mean, I damn sure wasn't gonna roll over, right? So I'm screaming while I'm doing this because it hurt like a son of a bitch, and so I pulled up as much as I could.
Yeah, coughing and sneezing both.
Yeah. So I'm pulling myself over as much as I can, right? And she leans down and she goes, I need you to roll over more. And I'm like, bitch, you are not getting any more. I'm like, this is all you get. and I suspect she put it in, but I suspect she didn't put it in high enough, because I wasn't rolled over as far as I needed to be. And so the epidural thing sucked. And I don't think it was in high enough, because the epidurals, if you don't know anything about them, what they do is wherever they insert it in your spine, it numbs you from there down. Right? And I don't think it was in high enough. I think it was, it was definitely not above where the incision started. So it didn't work. I hated that stupid thing. It didn't take the pain away. And it made my spine numb. It made my legs numb. It made it weird to walk. and I was still in a bunch of pain anyway. So like I hated that thing. People always be like, "Oh my God, I loved my epidural when I had a baby." I'm like, man, those things fucking suck.
Well, I mean, I had an epidural when I had my amputation because I was awake for my amputation because they couldn't put me under because
Right.
I'd had so many surgeries, just bam, 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 bam. They couldn't put me under. So I told them, I said, just, and they tried. The anesthesiologist actually told the doctor that was doing my amputation, he's like, look, if I give him one more drop of anesthesia, I will lose my license because I've given him enough anesthesia to put out a 700-pound man, and he's not phased.
Nice.
And the doctor looks at him and says, then how about you do the epidural like he suggested an hour and a half ago because the OR is waiting on us. And so, yeah, the only problem is they forgot to catheterize me and they paralyzed my bladder, and pumping IV fluids into me, yeah, made for a bad day. But I had told this anesthesiologist, who I figured out super quick was a third-year resident, and I actually looked at him and said, let me guess, third year. He's like, yeah. I said, okay, here's how this is going to go down.
I bet you they love you.
I said the amnesiatic is a no-go. I said the happy medicine is a no-go. The one that you got right there that's got Darvocet in it, I said, I've got a red bracelet. You get that out of here. That's not even allowed to be in here. I said, so you're not going to give me any painkillers coming out of surgery. I said, the surgeons are allowed to load up my incision sites with lidocaine, but that's it. Nothing else. He's like, are you sure you know what you're asking? Dude, again, I have been in an OR more than you have. So that's how it's going to be. He's like, okay. And so that's exactly what I did. And I told them, I said, look, I said, when I wake up, I normally shoot up. I said, you're talking about an incision on my stomach. If I try to shoot up with that incision, I'm going to pop every suture or staple, whatever closure you're using on me. I'm going to pop them as I wake up. I said, so have me elevated, when I go into post-op. And so I started coming out of sedation, and they had me elevated, so I didn't shoot up. Pin, because pain meds don't work for me. They don't work at all. They sent me home with 2 scripts. They sent me home with 1 script for tramadol, because I'm allergic to damn near everything else. Tramadol's a heavy duty. It's like third down. You got fentanyl, you've got morphine, and then you got tramadol, and then you got everything else like your oxycontins and your oxycodones and your hydrocodones and all those. That's what I just
Every
said.
doctor I've ever talked to has always said that they consider tramadol candy, like they don't consider it very serious. But apparently I'm one of the few people that tramadol, or not few, but I'm a smaller population of people that it works on, because that stuff will fuck me up.
No, I mean, tramadol is nothing. I had a bone marrow biopsy done. Now, for those of you that have had a bone marrow biopsy, those 2 words have instantly sent you grabbing for your hip. Okay?
I know
So,
that bone marrow,
actually,
yeah.
3 words. Bone marrow biopsy. Yeah, 3 words. Have sent you grabbing for your hip because you know what it feels like. So, what they do for bone marrow biopsy is they give you 2 fentanyl lollipops, and you're to rub them between your cheek and your teeth 15 minutes before your procedure. And I walked into this waiting room because they said that, when I show up, they will have me in the back within 5-6 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'd done my lollipops 15 minutes prior to actually showing up into the room. And I look around and this room is filled with zombies. I don't mean like literal zombies. I'm talking like patients that are just drool coming all over their shirt and whatnot. I'm like, are we in the right spot? Did we hit the psych ward somehow? And I check in, and they're like, okay, well, they'll call you back in just a minute. And sure enough, about 3 minutes later, they call me into the back, and the technician looks at me and she says, have you had your fentanyl lollipop? I said, yes, ma'am. She says, how many of them? I said, 2. She said, how long ago? I said, just under 20 minutes ago is when I started my first one. She goes, I hate to tell you this, but this is gonna suck.
Oh no.
She says, I've had one of these. They are not pleasant, and yeah, you're gonna really hate this. I'm like, okay. and she's like, I'm going to load you up with as much lidocaine as I possibly can. She says, but the moment it hits that bone, all the lidocaine in the world won't make a lick of difference.
Yeah.
So fentanyl, one of the strongest painkillers in the world, doesn't affect me. So there was no point in them giving it to me. They still sent me home with a prescription for tramadol, and they sent me home with a prescription for Robaxin, which is muscle relaxant. I am 36 hours post-op, and I've had 2 of my Robaxins, which, come to find out, they don't do much for me either. But I actually filled the Robaxin. I didn't fill the tramadol. I'm going to take that back to them and rip it up in front of them.
Yeah, tramadol gets me pretty fucked up. It definitely works. Because I had, well, with the liver thing, they had me on liquid Dilaudid for a month. And then, I know my parents were all worried about it. They thought I was going to get addicted to it, but I didn't realize I had it. So, I mean, I didn't realize it was an addictive drug, so it didn't. I hated it, actually. It didn't take the pain away. So, I mean, I was in a lot of pain, so it didn't take all the pain away. And I had all the bad side effects from being on it, painkiller, but none of the, the fun stuff. So.
They put me on Dilaudid for my amputation. Oh my God, that stupid dog. They put me on Dilaudid for my amputation. I took 2 of them, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well just be taking M&Ms. Because that's basically what it did to me. It was no different than if I was to eat a couple of M&Ms.
They sent me. I know they sent me home with some pill Dilaudid, and that definitely worked for me. And then when I was out of the Dilaudid, and I called, and I'm like, look, I'm still in a lot of pain here, and they're like, we can't give you any more of it. It's a controlled substance. You can't get a refill on it. And I was going, okay, great. And they said, but she said, you told me that the tramadol worked for you, right? And I was like, yeah. She said, if you take a combination, this doesn't work for everybody, but if you take a tramadol and a Lortab, Lortab 10,
right,
that is the equivalent, like, of a Dilaudid. And she goes, that doesn't work for everybody, but since the tramadol works for you, then try it and you let me know if it worked. And it did. She's like, I can call you in Lortabs all day long.
Right.
So, so she's like, I'll give you a prescription for both of those, and it's not a controlled substance. And I was like, all right. I mean, it is controlled, but not controlled the way Dilaudid is. And that worked for me, actually, the combination of tramadol and Lortabs.
Well, they sent me home with a prescription for 60 tramadol, or not 60 tramadol, 60 Dilaudid. And like I said, I took 2 or 3 of them, and yeah, it was nothing. And I called the doctor's office. I'm like, look, I said, you guys amputated my leg yesterday. I said, this Dilaudid, yeah, it's not doing shit. I need something that'll actually work. And they're like, we literally can't give you anything more powerful than that you can take home. I said, well, I guess I'm screwed then. And they're like, just double up. I said, no, doubling up won't do a damn lick of good. I already tried that. So yeah, I said, I'm just not going to mess with it. And I came back, when I went back for my post-op visit, I brought my bottle of Dilaudid back to, and I said, here, give this to someone who actually, it'll work for us, because it doesn't do anything for me. They're like, you actually didn't really take any. I said, I told you that it wasn't working for me, so that's why I called you and told you I needed something different.
Why take it?
Like, well, we have people that actually take it all, and then they say that it doesn't work, so they want something else called out to get them, no, not me. If it's not going to work, I'm not going to take it.
Yeah. Now, that's amazing to me, lead pipe. I mean, I've had Tylenol 3 before, and it just kind of meh. Like, and you're telling me that your Tylenol 3 was your friend after a liver transplant? Damn!
Well, I mean, all Tylenol 3 is Tylenol with codeine.
I know, but damn!
No, and they already knew that fentanyl didn't work on me from the fentanyl lollipops. Because fentanyl lollipops are like some strong ass shit. And yeah, they did. I had 2 of them and it didn't faze me. I drove with 2 fentanyl lollipops.
That's crazy. I am so glad that you're home, and I'm so glad everything went well, and that you're on the mend. I'm
just stuck in my recliner for the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Make the best of it. You have to take advantage of people having to bring you everything.
Jen, you know me.
I do. But just try to relax and try to enjoy.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
I know. But, you know, I can hope.
Lead pipe I don't drink. Not that I have anything against drinking, because I used to, but I don't drink. I have too many medications that alcohol interacts badly with.
So what? Oh wait, what is the Lortab is hydrocodone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a possible. I mean, you said tramadol doesn't work for you, so I don't see how the.
But no, I can't have hydrocodone, oxycodone, codeine, Dermacet, Demerol, Vicodin, Valium, or Percocet or Percodan. All of those I'm allergic to.
Damn.
Which is basically the entire pain medication rainbow.
Spectrum. Are you a friend of Bill's? Which Bill?
No, I am not. And I do know what you're referring to, and no.
Oh, okay. As long as the chair is conducive to performing your husbandly duties, you should be fine. I'm pretty sure grannies can hold out. Just saying. Damn, woman.
And Pim, if you're a friend of Bill and you need to talk, let me know, because I do know what that is.
Okay, guys. Mom just finished this. It's framed. Let's see. I don't know if we can get the sparklies to show up. She just finished this diamond painting. You guys can see the sparkles.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
She framed it and everything. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? She brought it
Jen,
in to show me.
I got to talk to you after the show.
Okay. It is after 10 o'clock, guys, actually. I guess I had more to talk about than I thought, because I've been rambling on now for 3 hours, and I only spent like 5 minutes in the lab. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight, though. I had a great time, and I appreciate you guys. I've been vaping on this. It's pretty tasty. This is definitely a peach type juice. It's very creamy. You got that salted caramel hazelnut flavor in there, but it's all nice and supported and backed up with all that cream and ice cream and custard goodness. This is probably a winner for a lot of people. Not for me, but it is a very good vape.
What was the flavor combination on it?
It's salted caramel, custard, hazelnut, and vanilla bean ice cream. I can do that. I can do that, Peach.
Needs a bit of a toner to it.
It's not bad. I mean, it's definitely doesn't. I would like, because I'm a fruity vapor, so I would like to throw some apple in it. I think that would taste really good.
Oh, actually, yeah, some apple in there would tone it nicely.
Yeah, I think apple would be awesome. But this is definitely a peach flavor. There's no question about it. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I know we talked about a lot of things, and you know, I may have gotten a little bit gloom and doom when it comes to what's happening with the vaping industry, but we can't keep our heads in the sand, okay? By no means is it any excuse for you to stop fighting. Keep calling your representatives. Keep fighting, okay? If we're going to go down, I want to go down fighting, and I think everybody in the room here wants to as well. So thank you guys so much. Yep, everybody send out your well wishes to Aries to recover quickly. Like I said, from what he showed me, his incisions are super, super clean. They're going to heal up real nicely, and I'm just hoping for the best for him. So.
Oh, I'm not kidding. Rock star surgeons.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, guys. You guys have a great evening. I'm pretty sure that there's some fuckery going on over on iVlog, so if you guys want that link, I'll put that in the room for you. www.ivlog.tv/user/the-other-side. And I will see you guys tomorrow between 4 and 6 over right here on VU Live for Trench's Funny Farm. Good night, everybody.
Bye. and